You are listening to the Savage FINcast, episode 78, Hootin Zoots!
Chicago. A criminal mastermind called Overlord held our city in his terrifying grip. Ordinary cops were losing the battle against Overlord's super freaks and mutants. Then, a miracle happened. When I found him, he had no memory of his past. I helped him find an identity and a life. Now we have a fighting chance. Now we have the dragon.
This is the Savage FINcast, the show that ain't nothing to fuck with. My name is Jim Purcell.
I'm Craig Olson.
I'm Raven Perez.
And we're here for our brand new episode where we'll be covering Savage Dragon 241. A bit of a controversial issue, I think, from our rumorations offline, off air.
Really?
I think we're gonna have a good talk about this one.
Ooh.
I've got opinions.
Ooh.
He's got opinions.
Good. I can't wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah. We're coming in hot. I forgot. Yeah. This is controversial. That's right. Good. Yeah, let's get our hands dirty with this one, baby.
So shall we get into the news so we can get to the meat of this episode?
Yeah, let's get through them.
Some news and potatoes. So, for our first news item of the day, this evening, hello, good listener out there. Just want to let you know. Exactly. My name's Storm Johnson. Savage Dragon 245's cover dropped. The Chained Man, which you probably already saw this image by the listening of this. It's been out for some while, but it's still news. Hey, it's making the FINcast. And it's an incredibly striking cover with a fellow brand new, we've never seen him, a Canadian original, just a guy decked out in chains. And this is my favorite moment, my favorite little extra insight. Somebody mentioned Bob Marley.
Bob Marley?
Not Bob Marley. Was it Bob?
The other Marley.
Bob Cratchit, right?
No. Bob Cratchit is...
Jacob.
No. Jacob Marley.
Bob Marley. Turn your lights down low. Open up your window curtains. At any rate, yeah. And Erik was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Absolutely." Little thing. I want to give you some love. That's why he's got that chastity belt on.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like the most elaborate chastity device.
Wouldn't it be funny, like, you know, the tone of the book? Like, wouldn't it be funny if that's what it was all about? Like,
yeah, it seems like it's probably a sex thing.
Like, I just can't control myself, Malcolm, Dragon. Get me out of this chastity belt. Well, I love it, dude. I love this guy's look.
I gotta say, he's probably the worst possible matchup with Malcolm Dragon you could imagine. I mean,
what do you mean?
Because I don't think someone should probably tell him about the conductivity of electricity and chains.
Right.
Yeah.
The dangers involved.
Oh, remember when Malcolm severed that guy in half with the chain, the ugly unlimited guy?
Mm-hmm.
What was his name? Codfish Kettlebone? No.
That's a lot more important character, thank you.
Oh, yeah. What was that guy? Herringbone. Something Herringbone.
I don't remember.
He was like the fat, ugly, unlimited guy when they captured Malcolm and they chained him up.
If only the wiki was still up.
I
could look it up.
Well, I want to say the Chained Man kind of reminds me of a really dumb character. In the 70s, in the late 70s, there was a run of Legion of Superheroes where one of their main antagonists recurring was Grimbor the Chainsman, which was some mustachioed dude. Was really good with chains. He basically looked like the comedian from Watchmen.
Okay. Rip Taylor with chains.
Yeah, and then he was just so good with chains, he could imprison Superboy.
Nice.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's not the most memorable or most impressive, but he once enwrapped the entire Earth in chains and constricted all of the oxygen and nearly killed us all.
Wow, with chains?
With chains.
Think of the talent required.
He's a very underrated villain, I suppose. But I'll be honest, that's who this guy reminds me of, just because of the whole chain motif.
Listen to this, guys. Savage Dragon 196.
Wow,
The death of
Herringbone
Seed. Malcolm severs him with a chain. Anyway.
No, that's good. Is this guy going to get fucking electrocuted? Is the thing.
And that's the only notable part about him?
Yeah,
About Herringbone Seed?
Yeah.
He was the leader of the Uglies Unlimited.
The leader?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Good for him.
They weren't picky.
Yeah, really. He was their dart. Not Herringbone. He's our overlord.
But honestly, Erik draws some badass chains. I mean, as we know from his Spawn run.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Like, all the, like, you know, the chains
Links.
kind of flying out, links, yeah. Like, it just looks cool.
Look at his head. It is like he's got that great, like, kind of like doom mouth. But like his flesh is kind of like got like a decaying like necro, or those are liver spots. You never know. But I'm just saying this guy just looks fucking bad to the bone. You know what? I'm just gonna echo my sentiment. Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die.
He's gonna insta die.
No, live.
I kind of like how he does the thing where it's like the chains are kind of like walking, and he's just like this kind of limp body.
Yeah.
The chains kind of just move around.
That was in Spawn too, wasn't it? Like, was it
I feel
Spawn?
like it.
Spawn walked around on chains.
Yeah, there's a bit of Spawn. There's a bit of Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a great gumbo. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna take a little of this and a little of that, this guy's a winner in my.
It's
book.
kind of funny how he's completely naked. At least looks it.
He's got
the chains.
Got a lock over his micro penis. It really doesn't. It doesn't look like he's got underwear on. It's just the chains.
Yep.
And the helmet. He's like a man in the metal mask. It's good. I think he's a winner, dude. This cover is great.
It is. It's even got the CN Tower in the background.
So that lets you know that the book's not in Chicago.
That's right. Or anywhere else.
So good. All right, moving right along. See, you know what? I want to say before we go right along, it sure seems like you had some really specific info about Herringbone Seed. That's weird that you had that. Did you just have that issue handy?
I did not.
What?
But I had something else handy.
Ooh, huh? Did you use Phone a Friend and call Erik?
No.
Do you have Gavin on text at speed dial?
Gavin is the chained man in my house.
Bring out the gimp.
We'll let James kind of kick this one off.
What's the source of your knowledge? James?
What, is this my bit? I thought this was
It
yours.
is. No, it's yours.
Oh. Well,
It seems like Craig was very knowledgeable. How?
How am I supposed to know? Don't put me on the spot like this.
It wasn't magic.
So the good news is, after our long, dark national nightmare is finally over, the Savage Dragon Wiki has returned in its full-on glory.
Better than ever.
Better than ever.
New and improved. And we can all thank
Stefan
Kalshid, or yeah. I don't know how you pronounce his last name.
We just call him Stefan K around these parts.
Sure.
Stefan Darkside.
Stefan Wolf.
Yeah. But yeah, he's done all this work, and then for Christmas-ish, he presents us the newly restored wiki. We can finally update it far more easily than we did before, even on the old version.
Right.
Apparently, we've switched over to WordPress, which is apparently a lot easier to work with than whatever archaic thing
it's kind of part of the Savage Dragon website, or you can link to it.
It's basically integrated into SavageDragon.com now. It's in the same place where the archived wiki was, where if you go to SavageDragon.com and go to resources, it'll be under that heading.
It just looks cleaner, looks neater,
and it
just looks great.
Constantly being updated. We got a whole team of volunteers just going through the whole thing to make it look as good and as detailed as possible.
The cool thing I like about it is that it kind of keeps the feel of the old one. So if you're used to the old one, it pretty much has the same setup, but it just looks a lot cleaner.
Yeah. I haven't used it much since it came back, but I was impressed that it had everything the previous one did, plus some more.
Yeah, he basically took the previous one and just we saved all the data and
well,
it's got everything. It's got everything that the old one had.
Say it like that. I get the sense that the transfer wasn't the smoothest or the easiest.
No.
It involved a lot of very meticulous copy and pasting.
It took a lot of work, but what I'm trying to say is that everything that was in the old one is in the new one. We didn't lose anything.
Nothing was lost.
Yeah, and it's basically all as you remember it, only better looking.
And allow me to I want to say it on air. I've typed it out many times. I'm going to say it on air. That was a fucking incredible feat.
Yeah.
To pull that wiki from its like dying shell and put it into the new WordPress format, an incredible amount of work. Yep. Not only did he time it to where it was released as a Christmas gift, but then here we are on this date that we're recording this. I like stuff like this. It's like Savage Dragon itself. You can put a little timestamp on this moment in time. He also just fathered a son this day.
That's true.
Congratulations, Stefan. Welcome to the world, Buster K. I'm kidding. His kid's not named Buster.
Felix.
Felix?
Yes.
I'm just saying, absolutely commendable amount of effort given the time frame, like just everything that's going on. Just our hats off. Good Lord, dude.
I told him it was a pretty funny coincidence because the original wiki, when I was working on it with Gavin, my firstborn was just born. And I was doing a lot of work with her in one hand napping and like one-handedly like typing and moving things around and stuff like that. And the crazy thing is now my daughter is 8 years old. So it's like, it's just time flies.
Whoa. And she's also named Felix too, right?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, coincidences.
Our Alexa gets screwed up all the time.
Felexa. Ding. Yes, father. Oh my god!
But it definitely is a very great site. It's just good news all around, and especially with our podcast too, it really helps to have the wiki. I know it helps Erik tremendously, and Gavin. There's just so many characters in this book that to have this resource is great because 150 issues, whatever, 200 issues go by, it's hard to retain all this knowledge. So, it's kind of fun to look back and kind of be like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like one of the things, it was funny that we were talking about, like I brought up that herringbone seed guy. And the reason I did was because I just updated the Uglies Unlimited group page. So their group profile didn't have any history. And I was thinking to myself, like, what happened to those guys? I couldn't remember for the life of me if that like was ever like a closed story or anything like that. If that kind of just came to an abrupt end, and it actually did kind of close out pretty nicely, and I forgot all about it. So it kind of forced me to go through, read through some issues, and do a write up. And yeah, the Uglies Unlimited aren't around anymore, and the story came to kind of a neat end. But I forgot all about it.
Yeah, I'm forgetting it. Like, even now as you mention it, I'm like, ooh, just say what it is. No.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool. I like it, dude. I'm very thankful to see it back. Definitely. I used it a lot for, like, games and trivia and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it is even good whenever we podcast just to go back and be like, oh yeah, what happened? Or, be able to read an issue summary or, a profile. It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm super happy it's back and proud of you, Stefan, for your like fucking tremendous amount of work.
Can I also say, sorry, go ahead. I don't
No,
want
that's it, dude.
the one thing is I got to commend the whole like Savage Dragon fan community, because I feel like, we're not a huge community, but we all step in and do our part, whether it's, us doing a podcast, Stefan kind of taking the huge undertaking of revamping the wiki, whether it's Simon Millette doing, the Dragon Fan Facebook group, or Benny Hassa that's done a lot of the edits and profiles on the wiki, whatever it is, or the guys that do the backups, Raven, you've contributed a backup. Just volunteering a lot of time because we love this book so much. It's really cool. It's a cool little community.
Even what's funny is I'll see Savage Dragon related stuff and you'll see people saying dumb shit in the comments like, whoa, they still make that book, or Savage Dragon's porn now. And I'll look in the comments and they'll be like Mark Welser right there being like, no, it's not. If you read it, it's not.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's so awesome.
It is.
Because it's like I see someone and I know them.
Guys like Russ Burlingame who make it a point to do the dragon kind of interview article for comicbook.com every month.
Yeah. And I love it, dude, because you'll learn new stuff and get new insights and that.
Yeah.
And, like, it's handy. I
mean, guys like Michelle Fife that are always pushing Larsen's work and stuff like that, and it's just there's a nice group. It's cool to see.
Yeah, not like that dreadful Batman community. I'm joking. I just picked a name out of the hat, Not like those Batman fans. Sorry. I didn't mean to lower the tone.
Anyway, that was that. But and some of the other things, like, I mean, guys, keep an eye out on the wiki. We've had conversations about adding other things, like kind of like we have profiles of characters and groups. We're talking about I want
profiles on like items, like
that's what we talked about. We were actually talking about that today.
Appearances of Thor's hammer or the flying car.
Yep. I was kind of laughing because I was like, I want to do one just on the Power Glove, just so I can see how many issues that thing has appeared in.
Yeah, dude.
And how many different people have actually held it.
Oh, yeah,
it's pretty amazing. And then even locations like Dimension X and the Danger Zone and God World. There's so many different places that would be nice to have a little write up on each.
Like, and it's funny because even as like a reader, your mind does drift because you just forget because so much time has passed. But it's like, I do wonder, like, where is the Martian shrink ray? Like, where are those rocket shoes? The rocket shoes incident.
Yeah.
I want to know this stuff. Sometimes, like, I just think about it.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure the rocket shoes were a one-time thing.
I thought they showed up a few times.
Appearances of Santa's sleigh.
Yeah. Believe it or not. It's good. The Easter Bunny. What's funny is you could even technically close out the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus.
How's that?
We saw their end. Dart killed them.
Oh.
they were on the wall. They were on the wall of heads. So it's kind of funny because it's like that's the kind of stuff that, like, yeah, dude, I'd love to see that kind of stuff in the wiki.
The funny thing is, if you look on the wiki on the Easter Bunny, death issue number 215, he's later decapitated by Dart and has his head mounted on the wall.
Already ahead of the sea.
Same thing with Santa.
I love you, bros. Ahead of the game. I made an off-the-cuff joke, and you've already done it.
Yep.
It's fantastic. It's dedication. That's hashtag passion, baby. Love it. I think we got one last item to close this out, don't we? Craig?
Craig.
Yeah, sorry.
So organized.
Last item. The juice is loose. So we've got a new web series coming by longtime Savage Dragon backup alum,
super fan
Scott James, who we've had a couple of times on our podcast. Super cool guy. He's writing, drawing, and coloring Juice Man. And with that, he's also having the Savage Dragon letterer, Farron Delgado, letter his comic, and Gavin Higginbotham, who's also the editor of Savage Dragon, will be editing his comic as well. And you can find his webcomic on Tapas, which I think it's just tapas.io.
Yeah,
and then you could do
.io and then /ScottJames21.
Or I'm sure if you just go to tapas.io, you could probably do a search for Juice Man or something.
Oh, yeah.
But he's got the cover and 1, 2, 3 pages up. It's if you like his backups and if you like Savage Dragon, you'll love his stuff. It looks like it's very much in the vein of Savage Dragon because James's style is very close to Eric's. And B, with Farron's lettering, it's just great.
Also, Juice Man is a very big man.
Yeah,
very, very muscular, big fists.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you like that Savage Dragon energy, you're. I put a post up, and someone immediately commented and was like, "Wow, this guy's definitely channeling Larsen," and I was like, "That's high praise. It's good."
Yeah. So. Seems like fun. First, I guess he says it's going to be about a page a week.
Yeah.
You can subscribe and get updates on the new pages posted, but it's cool and it's free. So you guys should go check that out. There's also a link on the Erik Larsen Savage Dragon fan group on Facebook. So if you're a member of that public group, then you can check it out there too.
Very proud of you, Scott. He was talking about doing this for a hot minute, and finally the time has come, and it looks beautiful. So
yeah, that cover's got like the cool kind of Marvel like 70s 80s vibe. I like it. It's good stuff. And,
got the little comic code.
Yeah, Farron's lettering just makes everything pop.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it looks good. Looks super pro.
Yep, it really does.
Proud of you, Scott. Proud of you, man.
All
so
right.
we got a little section here. It's a little bit different than what we normally do. Not a game, not a FINteresting topic. Just sort of in lieu, because we're gonna do a little bit of a look back next FINcast at like 2018. However, we just wanted a little bit of time to prepare that and have it be a little bit better. So this time, what we thought we would bring is a little like almost editorial piece. We're just going to go around and have each of us say, just sort of as we go into the new year, sort of a look back at what we'd like to see less of and a look forward at what we would like to see more of in the book. And these are just our pure opinions. This is not anything. This is just sort of just like a wish, like what we would want. Nothing like hard criticism or analysis or anything. So, yeah, that's what this section is. And who would like to go first?
Not me.
I demand only one thing in the new year.
Oh.
The return of the Seeker. Again. Give me more, Erik. Come on. You know there's more.
I'm amazed you didn't say Neutron Bob.
Well, always Neutron Bob, but I'm more pissed about the Seeker right now.
So you would actually legitimately burn your monkey's paw wish on more Seeker?
Yes.
Okay. Well, remember, we're just doing sort of a what you would like here. So why don't you elaborate? Like, what are you wanting? What would if you got this wish, what would satisfy you? You want an origin? Do you want Like, what would be your hopes
I
from that?
would like an explanation of like where he came from. Is he a robot? Is he just one of Cyberface's goons that has just been amok this entire time?
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like there's more to it. I don't think he's anyone. I don't think he's anyone. I think he's just a rando. But I think his motivations are just too ill-defined to be, to have been a satisfying mystery at all.
Okay.
He left us hanging. You gotta give us something. Just because he blew up and had a lot of blood on the ground doesn't mean he's dead.
That would be a great fake out.
I mean,
if
he's a robot or a cyborg or something, it could mean anything. And we got introduced to that whole idea of like whatever this Canadian shield whatever that Malcolm was working with. There could be a whole thing there to get into.
Okay. Malcolm even made the point to be like, I'm not my father, I'm a different guy.
Right.
There could be like a good twist where he's like, he's like,
He's
beep boop, update,
What?
If he was a robot, he could be like, beep boop, update, must destroy Malcolm.
I just think there could be more to it. I don't know if we're going to get it this year though. Maybe another 100 issues.
That's
fine.
But
I would just like to get more.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Now, let me ask you, since you're talking, do you have your what you would like to see less of locked and loaded?
I never want to see less of anything.
There's nothing at all.
Not really. Whatever Erik wants to do. His way. Just have at it.
Huh.
Less rape, I guess.
Okay, there it is. I knew you had something.
Less really
Fair
troubling,
answer.
really less troubling sexual assault. If you're gonna do it, do something more. I don't know. I think it's somewhat. Did we talk about this on air last time?
We didn't.
Oh no.
This is almost jumping into, I think, potentially your hot button topic you wanted to discuss. We didn't talk about it. No, it's not. It's not been in the air. So say what you want to say.
So this might be coming out of nowhere for the audience, but I feel a little bit that sexual assault has been too easy of a go-to, especially towards the women characters in this book. And
as of late or overall?
Mostly as of late.
Okay.
Yeah, with like Rapture and
basically ever since they went to Dimension X, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last time with Alex and Jennifer and Angel.
Yeah. Raptures. What were they? The Broody boys? Or
yeah, they were pretty rapey.
They were rapey. Yep.
And the Demonoids were also pretty rapey.
Oh yeah.
So it's just. You can do rape stories, you can do sexual assault stories, but it just as a like a threat in a superhero comic, even a mature one, I think you got to be real careful with it. And I just think it may have been going to that well one too many times.
Do you think? Let me ask you: are you framing this in a way that you would like to see it go away entirely, or would you like to see it approached with more tact and a different kind of a approach, like less like just a threat of a monster being there to rape you, and more
basically less of a just a generic threat, I guess.
Okay.
And just if you're gonna, more if you're gonna do it, you got to deal more with the fallout. We'll get into it in 241. I think. I think what's going on with Maxine is mostly working.
Okay.
Because we're definitely seeing her at her most vulnerable.
But a lot of fallout.
I think he's going to get glossed over that Horridus didn't have a great experience either, but she's not a main character, so we're not really going to see how it affected her. So,
right.
So I don't know.
Well, Jim,
maybe Erik will surprise me, and we will get that story. But I don't. It's just one of those things that's just been in the book, which I don't mind the sex in general, and I don't mind the violence, but sexual violence is like different.
Sure.
And I think it can be handled right, and it can have its moments, but I think it's just been too pervasive as a since the sex got introduced, it becoming part of the threat. You know, the danger in the violence, in the violent moments, it just, I don't know, it doesn't quite sit right with me overall. But we'll see.
Well, that's fine. Like I said, I'm not going to even say any words to, for, or against it, because this is your time to shine. You're saying what you do and do not like, so right on, brother. Let me see if there was anything else that we wanted to know on that. If it was like so you said you didn't want to see it go away, maybe just handle a little bit more. All right. All right. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to add to that, or are you feeling good with what you said?
I mean, that's basically it.
All right. Cool, man.
To be honest, overall, things are generally where I want them.
Kicking ass. Nice.
Sweet.
Craig, you
more Captain Tootsie, I suppose.
Nope.
But
Can't have the Seeker and Captain Tootsie. You get one. You get one or the other. If you had to choose right now, who would you choose? They're hanging over a cliff.
The Seeker.
Well, he can fly, so you wasted it. You just let Tootsie die for nothing. The Seeker can fly. You chose poorly. We killed Captain Tootsie. We haven't even reviewed the issue, and he's fallen off a cliff to his doom.
All right, Raven, you like pushing me. So what do you want to see in the new year?
In the new year, you know what I would like to see? I would like to see. Think we've done a lot narratively of just sort of life as it comes, and I would like to see some arcs, maybe just not. They don't even have to be big arcs. You know how the book had for a minute stuff like on the cover, even like Dragon Wars, and there was other arcs like that, like the Kerr arc. You know, I think I don't like one more than the other. I like when it's just life as it comes, and I like when, because it's really unpredictable. Right. I think when you do an arc, you are kind of trapped in an arc in a way, like you don't get to quite do as much life as it comes to you kind of storytelling, and I like that stuff. So I'm not criticizing that at all. I guess what I would like to see, though, maybe in the new year would be cool for me, is I would just like to see an arc or two, even if it's just like 2 issues, like a little 2-issue arc.
Yeah.
Where it could be like, oh, you know, here's 2 issues of like this happening, or here's 2 issues of that happening. That would be cool. That would be just fine with me. Like, what if, like, okay, for instance, all right, to give you a great, like, to be a little more clearly defined about this. All right, so Scourge, when he shows up now with the life as it comes to you sort of approach, he just sort of shows up and he's part of the story, because that's life. You know, everybody's lives are all going on at the same time, and Scourge just shows up because he was there during the battle, right?
Right.
You know, it'd be cool in this new year is to see, like, you know, 2 issues dedicated to, like, Scourge sets up a threat and the heroes knock it down. Something like that. A little more tightly defined, like
I get that.
Middle, and end. And not because and it's funny, it's not coming from a place of dislike. I super love like what's going on in the book now, because I never know what the hell's going on. Just a change of pace, that's all, more than anything. Just to sort of shake it up, because the book was doing it for a long time, and then the book sort of quit doing it. And I guess it'd be cool just to see, like, if he did arcs now, what would he do? Like with the cast and the new setting.
I mean, you can do an arc without really like telling you it's an arc.
But I'd like to see it like defined in
like
a way.
Part 1, Part 2, conclusion.
Yeah, you don't even have to see like Part 1, Part 2, but like in a way, like this demonoid attack was a good little arc.
Right, because it was like a 2-issue thing.
Bingo, and that's kind of what I'm saying is like, but like, you know, maybe make it a little more like tightly defined. Like it just is like, this one's just about the demonoids, like Scourge doesn't show up, like, because we're giving the demonoids their time to shine. So I don't know, maybe I'm stupid, maybe that's fucking shitty.
So you're saying keep the villains compartmentalized.
I think it would. You know what? I think it would help. I think it would help Malcolm's Rogues Gallery shine a little bit. Because I think that right now Malcolm's Rogues Gallery, although it's growing and it's cool to see it grow, I think it's his Rogues Gallery is weaker than Dragon's.
Yeah, you could say that.
And I think that if there were some arcs, you could really give those rogues time to shine.
I agree.
Yeah. Because then they could be a real threat instead of just showing up and getting knocked out in an issue.
Right.
They could show up and they could even get knocked out in like 3 issues or 2 issues. But like I said, it would give them a chance to be a threat.
Well, it's wrestling booking, you see. You get your bad guy, beats the good guy, and then they have their rubber match where one could win and the other might win, and then you have your conclusive final battle where the good guy triumphs over evil.
And I'm okay with
Rule
that.
of 3.
But I feel like a lot of the current Malcolm is, well, since Malcolm's had the book, most of his fights against bad guys, besides like demonoids and stuff, I feel like I've been kind of one and done in the same issue.
Yep.
And I miss, if you look at the first 40 issues of Savage Dragon, I mean, he would be fighting Overlord over 5 issues and the Fiend over 5 issues or whatever. It would be set up, and then 3 issues would go by with nothing, and then finally something would happen, you know. And I miss the setups that he used to do, where it used to give you a little hint on a page that something was going to happen, or there'd be a little splash page of somebody talking to somebody or something, and he wouldn't go back to it for 3 pages or something, like 3 issues or something to that effect. I miss that.
And I think arcs kind of can help with that. Like, I think they kind of can help solidify things in people's minds. Like, when people are like, oh, remember, you know, the Savage World, or, oh, remember, you know, when Kerr attacked, or, oh, remember, and like people have all those memories. And I think like with Malcolm, it's a lot harder to pin that down just because there's not been arcs. And I think a few arcs would help. Like, just it helps solidify sort of better rogues, and I think it would help solidify more moments in people's minds. Like I said, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I was thinking. I've been thinking it for like maybe, I don't know, a month or 2. I was like, you know, I'm ready for a good arc. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and as for what I would like to see less of, that's hard because I'm super fucking digging everything. Oh boy, what would I like to see less of? Oh shit.
Come on, give your interview answer.
Less shit.
Less shit. What was my interview answer? What are you talking about?
Interview answer, yes. What's your biggest weakness? I'm too good at my job.
Oh, your interview.
What do you want to see less in Savage Dragon? I want to see less
you know what I would like to
mediocre
see?
shit.
I would like to see less. Oh man, that ties too closely into arcs. I guess I would like to see less villains, generic villains, more unique villains.
Stole my answer.
Oh shit! I'm sorry, dude.
There's no such thing as a stolen answer. There's only corroboration. Collab. You both can own it.
Yep. Less generic villains. Like, and what's funny is I didn't even think of I still think the demonoids. I stand by what I said. Is I think that they're interesting, and I think that there was cool like potential for things, but Basilisk was a really cool like villain,
right? But he was only appeared in 1 issue.
Yeah, it should have been set up. It should have been more behind him.
He was named, but he was ultimately just one of the randos.
Yeah, in the end, where he died as soon as he appeared, and I guess that's what I'd like to see less of, is less throwaway villains. There you go. Okay, cool. Whew, thanks. Whew, we made it.
I mean, who have been our recent villains? A Rapture?
Rapture
Norm Spiegelman.
Norm Spiegelman.
He was.
Yeah. Well, he's another guy who we'd only learned of him.
I know.
The issue he died.
And I would have loved for him to be revealed and continue to be a threat.
The sex bots are the most interesting part about him because they are recurring.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that phased through people?
Him, yeah.
I liked him. I liked his visual.
He was gone in an issue.
Curmudgeon. He's out there somewhere.
He's out there, Curmudgeon.
Curmudgeon is out there.
Does he have a wiki entry yet? What's he called? What's his real name?
Blort.
Which
Brown.
guy is? Who are you talking about?
Curmudgeon.
Remember the dude that made Wolverine claws, and he escaped down the sewer drain?
Oh yeah. He's in here. He's got to be
He's got to have a real name.
Oh yeah, I know it's not Curmudgeon.
Muddy
That was-
Mud Skipper. The Wraith is what I'm thinking of, but
The Wraith, yeah. Like, give the Wraith a brother. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a big brother. I kill you, Malcolm Dragon.
Well, he at least had like a whole origin story before he fucking died.
He did. He
was man scorned, I believe, or
Well, he got molested.
right.
Sexual violence, Jim. Sorry.
ah,
Yeah, he got molested and he was getting revenge on the coach. But he killed a few cops in the process. Malcolm wasn't down with it.
See, that's a character that really should have stuck around.
the guy's name was Sludge, and he's in the wiki.
Oh, is that all? Sludge? Really? Can
Savage
change
Dragon
the shape.
229.
Can change the shape of his body at will and is similar to that of clay. So I guess he is not made of cum, as we posited. That's
Could-
unfortunate.
He could have been Seaman.
Oh boy.
Yeah, man, that's it. Yeah, that's my thing. Craig, how you feeling? You ready to step up to the plate?
I'm ready.
All
I
right.
got a list. I'm with you. I want to see less generic guys, less ant menaces. Unlike you, I want less demonoids, less bully boys, less ugly unlimited. I want more unique villains. I want guys that dress up in villain costumes.
Cool
I
costumes.
don't want abomination guys in jeans and whatever.
I love super people in t-shirts.
I know, but I really miss the Erik Larsen 90s villain, like just straight up crazy wacky looking outfits.
Yeah,
Do cut through.
an outfit fully formed out of Johnny Redbeard's hand.
Yeah, man. I'm
Came
with you.
Total package.
I want to see more Hellraiser and Cutthroat guys.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm with you.
That's what I like. I think, one thing I would like to see, and I don't know if it's possible anymore because I don't know if he's got the villains to do it, but I feel like the one thing that Erik has not touched on the superhero comic book trope is like the Sinister Six type supervillain group.
I mean,
Like you got the Vicious Circle,
yeah,
but like I want to see like 3 or 4 or 6 major baddies
the
team
Superman
up.
Revenge Squad of Dragon.
The greatest hits. Yeah.
And I think it kind of, we kind of missed the boat with that on Dragon and maybe Malcolm. There hasn't been enough characters around long enough. And I don't know who's even around anymore. I mean, guys I can think of that are big baddies that are still around are just like Dart, and now we got Scourge and maybe Thor's around, but there's really not that available anymore. So I'm not sure how you'd really pull it off. But I feel like that's one trope that we have never seen in Dragon that I'm surprised we haven't seen.
That's a good
You
point.
get the Seeker, and you get Chart, and you get
Scourge.
Sludge, and what's her name, who's also a sludge monster.
Funk.
Funk. Brenda
She's
Funk.
dead.
She is dead.
Brenda Funk
I thought
decapitated.
Yeah, but she was. Did she lose her powers and get decapitated? Man,
I
I guess I should check the wiki.
Yeah. Yeah.
You drew it, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say she got decapitated in my backup.
Oh,
if it's
that's
canon.
right? I didn't think, but I thought she was a sludge monster. I didn't think she could die.
I guess that's what did it, because when she got decapitated, her head was just on the ground, and he kicked it into the sewers.
Speaking of sludge monsters, there's all those kids in prison that have not come back yet.
Yeah, dude.
Of course, they're all in Chicago, so
Yeah.
You talking about the Vicious Circle kids?
yeah.
The Junior Vicious Circle League.
Yeah.
You get those kids out of prison.
I mean, I guess technically you could probably, it's comic book, so people can come back to life all the time. So someone like Cyberface could come back to life or something like that. But
Eric doesn't do that.
well, I
Except
mean,
for all
if you
those
want
other
to
times,
do
yeah.
like a bunch of big baddies in an arc where like, a bunch of guys, I don't know, whatever it is.
Whatever
just
it is.
being silly about
You
it.
just want the greatest hits.
Yeah,
So all
I
get
think it'd be
electrocuted
cool.
to death.
Just I think it would be neat, even if two or three big baddies teamed up would be kind of neat.
You're
some
right.
point.
It is funny that we've gone almost 250 issues, and there really hasn't been like a League of Evil, like with like greatest hits,
Yeah.
like style, like all my worst foes united against me.
Yeah.
All these footnotes in my life. What's your name again?
Yeah, let me go to the wiki.
Yeah. You think Savage Dragon has his own wiki?
In the universe, I guarantee
Malcolm has to reference once in a while.
That'd be pretty hurtful to the villain. Like Malcolm gets on his phone before the fight.
Hold on.
Oh shit, Sludge. I've been calling you curmudgeon all this time.
I think,
yeah, man.
Just not to linger on too long, other things I'd like to see is more backups that tie in with the comic.
I like that.
You know what? I mean, I'm fine. Night Watchman's great, but you know, I'd almost rather see if they're gonna do like a Golden Age type comic, do one of like the Liberty League or something. And I get a lot of those strips have already been done and they're just being recolored, so that makes sense. And you know, when you're asking people to do backups, you're usually asking for people to volunteer their time, so it might be difficult, but I would definitely, and I know Erik says a lot of people flake out where they promise stuff and they don't deliver, so
Right.
but I would definitely like to see more, like, you know, Mark Welser did what was it, Brute Force? Yeah, no, not Brute Force. Was it? Yeah, it was Brute Force.
Yeah,
right?
it was Brute Force. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing more of that stuff, more Freak Force, Super Patriot. I mean, hell, how cool would it be if someone did like a Captain Tootsie backup that was done in like a similar style?
Well, we'll get into it
right
later.
out of my mouth.
We'll get into that later, but they really probably should have done something like that this issue.
Yeah.
Technically,
Or at the
those comics were public domain. They could have.
Well, they could.
Yeah,
They probably should have reprinted a couple of them.
So that people would get a better feel for the character.
Get it, yeah.
That's a great idea.
We'll get into that when we talk about the issue.
Whoa, Jim.
What?
That's a home run, dude. That would have been really a killer extra.
Yeah, because there are like one-page, you know, Captain Tootsie strips.
Whoa, good job, dude.
And then lastly, you kind of hit on this you hit on like the longer term villains. I'd also want to see a follow up on some things. I mean, are we ever going to learn about the Johnson twins or see more?
No, Craig, I'm sorry.
Why is there nothing to know?
One's ugly. That's all it is.
He's hideous. It's not.
Some people are born like that. Stop thinking he's a chosen one.
But the other one's beautiful. Don't you think there's something to it?
No.
Yeah, and it's when Dragon.
Didn't you ever see the movie Twins? Sometimes you're Schwarzenegger and sometimes you're Danny DeVito. It's just
come on, Dragon was in William Johnson's body at the time.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
I understand it's your seeker, but I don't see it ever actually being anything.
Wow, that's from the man that he burned his monkey paw wish on the Seeker. I'm impressed that you're really shitting on those Johnson twins.
They're both gonna bang a Janie, and they're all gonna live happily ever after.
Bang a Janie, I love it.
I want to find out if the Janie twins both got the memories of each other when the timelines collapsed.
I'm sure they did,
because that's got to be weird.
Oh yeah. Huh. Yeah, man.
Because now they're really identical because they got all the same memories.
Good point.
Never see that covered in the book now, will we?
We just might, dude. Don't lose hope.
Last thing I want to say. Last thing, I promise. Okay. I want to see more Thunderhead action. Not Kevin Gorlick in a Mr. Rogers sweater. I want Thunderhead Raven Perez style.
The Bruticus.
I want him nerdier and nerdier as time goes on.
He's domesticated, Craig. It's too late. Once you go May, you go all the way. That's what they say, anyway. Yeah, dude, he's too domesticated. He's a father now.
It is kind of weird that he does how skinny he looks in a suit, but he still buffs up whenever he's not. I wonder if that's his electrical powers.
What's funny is he like runs away from danger and everything. Like he's out.
Well, he doesn't have a healing factor.
But he can still fight. He's still strong and electrical.
He went 1-on-1 with Malcolm. Back in the day.
Everyone around Malcolm gets their head punched off or they get cut in half. I would not want to be involved either.
I just got to say, I'm with you, Craig. Although I don't think it's going to happen because, like I said, I think he's domesticated.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's working for him. You know what I mean? Clearly. He's getting the trim on the regular.
How much of a fake out was that? I mean, was that issue 200?
What?
Your backup story, Raven? Sorry, you guys can't read my mind.
No,
I forgot for a minute. You're not in my head reading my mind.
My backup was 225.
So between 225 and 241, we went from Thunderhead thinking that he might have a relationship with Angel to like having a kid with Maxine's mom.
Yeah.
Total fake out. I thought for sure. Yeah. And here's a little insider baseball. It's not a secret or anything, but it's like in the script it said they're talking. You can really see they're flirty and hitting it off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit! Like as I'm drawing that, I'm like, oh man, I'm drawing the beginning of a relationship. This is so cool. Like I was really like, oh wow, and it didn't go anywhere. He hooked up with Maxine's mom. No, I actually kind of love that fake out because I never would have seen that shit coming in a million years, dude.
I don't think anybody did. I don't think a year before that we're like, he's probably gonna bang her mom.
And they had a normal baby on top of all of that.
Yeah.
Like the skull face lineage cut off. No more invisible skins.
Nope.
I don't know. I'm just saying I never would have seen that shit coming in a million years, dude. All right.
I gotta say one thing. Kevin never considering just taking Freak out himself. He's comfortable as he is.
Yeah, he gets all the chicks.
Yeah. Chick magnet.
They don't like chicks love that no-nose look.
You gotta think, dude. I think you would be pretty fucking popular if you just were like a giant blue skull dude.
Yeah.
I don't think like just like it's portrayed in the comic, like I think you'd have a hard time getting employment. I think you'd be pretty popular in every other way in your life. It's not a shitty way to look. In a universe where people look like fucking cum monsters.
Right.
There's way worse things that can happen to you, so
Still want to know how those little lightning bolts formed on his skull.
Didn't that? I think we've asked that in an interview. Isn't that a? Don't worry about it.
Comics.
Don't worry about it, kid. So yeah, dude, it's good answers. Awesome parts. Awesome parts. What the fuck am I talking about? Awesome answers. Like cool, good stuff all around. Shall we hop into meat and potatoes then?
I think we should. What say you guys? Let's do it.
Oh, Malcolm, don't hurt him, please.
Dude, this cover is so great.
It is fantastic.
I do enjoy it.
I didn't know it was an homage to Herb Trimpe.
Wait.
Until Erik posted it.
Wait, like way back or like recently?
What?
When did Erik post it?
A while back.
Okay. Because
have you seen it?
I mean, I caught it right away.
I didn't catch it.
You knew that cover?
That cover's iconic. It gets reprinted
That's
all the
first
time.
appearance of Doc Samson, right?
Yeah, it gets thrown. I mean, I've seen it many times. I don't own the issue.
I'd never seen it before.
I've seen that cover many a time.
I've never seen that before, and I had no idea. And I was like, man, I love the way that Malcolm is posed in it. It's so great, and it's like, because a goddamn master is the one that set that originally drew it. I mean, not that it sounds weird saying it like that, but it was just like you just don't appreciate the old guard and how good they are. I mean, we talked off air about how good Eric's poses are and how he can set up a great cover, but this Herb Trimpe inspired cover, man, it's so much power in it. The way he's grabbing Malcolm's arm.
Yep.
And this is an awesome Easter egg. Remember, if you will, look in the cracks at Malcolm's feet. At his right foot, it says "After Trimp."
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yep. So cool. This is a great cover.
I really, really love Malcolm's pose in it, which was Doc Samson's pose, but he just looks like his arm's getting crushed.
So good. Well, Malcolm is standing in for the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Doc Samson is Captain Tootsie. Which Captain Tootsie was the inspiration for Doc Samson's costume.
His costume design.
Yeah, his costume. It's funny. It's a good costume. Isn't that weird?
It's a t-shirt.
Yeah, and jeans. But like Buccaneer boots.
A lot of characters kind of look like that in the Golden Age.
Wasn't it the Tom Strong look as well?
Yeah, that's where Tom Strong gets his look.
Yep.
Specifically, he gets his look from a character named Doc Strange. Not that Doc Strange. Doc Strange was kind of a Doc Savage knockoff.
Okay. I was going to say, I thought that Tom Strong was a Doc Savage ripoff.
He is, but he's like secondhand in some ways. Like Captain Triumph also has a similar look. And it was just fairly popular to kind of have that kind of t-shirt jeans look with your muscle men.
Can you imagine someone's gripping your fucking arm so hard that you're like, oh, like down on one leg, you know?
Yeah, it's great. It's so good. I do, for the listeners who aren't familiar, like I wasn't, the issue we're talking about is Incredible Hulk 141. So Google that if you haven't seen it, but that's what 241 is based on. And it's pretty crazy that, it's 141 and we're at 241. It's a weird little coincidence there.
Knowing Erik, he always has that numerology thing going on.
Yeah.
Where he's always like, oh, Fantastic Four on issue 230, they were doing this, so I'm 230, I can do this. Like, he's always got some kind of crazy, like, connection to something. Yeah, like, what was it, like the Captain Marvel connection? There's like a Captain Marvel, like, didn't C.C. Beck also design Captain Tootsie?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
There's a helpful blurb. Don't skip the letters column ever in an issue of Savage Dragon. There's a really helpful blurb where Erik spells all this shit out.
Yep.
And even the line where one of the Secret Legion says, oh, is he a Venetian? Like, Captain Tootsie went to Venus and fought aliens. So, of course...
I assume that.
So, of course, they would say that.
In Eric's little kind of soapbox in the letters page, he gives a link to a website that has a bunch of Golden Age comics that you can actually read the issue 1 and 2 of Tootsie, Captain Tootsie.
I also thought it was because I'm glad, like I said, I almost didn't read it before we did the FINcast, but like, it's a really funny observation to think that because Captain Tootsie was a commercial, he was like super visible, like, because he was in all kinds of books. It's kind of like how, the Charles Atlas, like, gamble a stamp, become a man.
Right.
Like, so it's kind of funny to be like, yeah, this was, because it was product placement, like, this was actually a comic character that, like, a shit ton of people actually knew.
Yeah, so let's just get into a little bit of that for a listener who might not be as familiar. I mean, Captain Tootsie is actually the kind of mascot for Tootsie Roll candy.
Right.
And
the Bazooka Joe of Tootsie Roll.
And he had a bunch of strips, kind of like the Hostess Pie strips that were in comics. and it would always be like someone was in trouble, and it's like, oh, Captain Tootsie used to have this like satchel full of Tootsie Rolls, and if you read some of these comics, they actually say like Tootsie Rolls are good for you and they give you energy. It's energy. It's energy food. So like Captain Tootsie pops a few Tootsie Rolls and he's got like super energy to save his
I'm legit
kid
surprised
friends.
that didn't happen in this issue. Erik didn't reference it.
One of the
kids
kids
he gets his power from chocolate candy.
One of the kids is eating a Tootsie Roll.
Is he? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, if you look at the very end of the issue, one of the Secret Legion, let me see if I can get go to the last page and then flip forward past the Christmas scene, and then you see where he's hugging where Captain Tootsie's hugging the kid in panel 4. Look above the 2018 word balloon. Look at that kid's mouth. 2018 Hootin Zoots, like.
Oh yeah, Fatso eating a Tootsie.
Eating a Tootsie Roll, yeah. He's eating that Tootsie Roll in every panel after that. Yeah, so yeah, we get some Tootsie Roll consumption in this. It's not used like Popeye's spinach, but still.
Yeah.
It's really more like Our Man's Hour Drug.
Oh yeah. He pops the pills and he's strong for
an hour. Yeah.
It's a sugar high.
I mean, the cool thing about Captain Tootsie is that it is all those little ads are really well drawn because it's CC Beck. You know, it's kind of cool.
That's what's so funny is if you read it. Like I read the Captain Tootsie like one of the comics, and it's not bad actually. It's actually pretty decent, you know. He's kind of this science hero, like, you know, builds a spaceship and like, you know, the age of like genius strongman. Like he's one of those guys, like, oh, I'll just build a ship and go to space and beat up some aliens. It's like, damn, dude.
And if the listeners, if you do want to check it out, go to Comic Book Plus, so comicbookplus.com, and then you can do like a search. I guess it's all like public domain Golden Age books on there, but there are only 2 full issues of Captain Tootsie through Ace Comics, and all the rest. I mean, there's like a shit ton of those kind of one-page Tootsie ads, but the Tootsie ads are actual Tootsie Roll ads. The 2 comic books have nothing to do with Tootsie Rolls, and they don't even reference them.
Yeah. Even though he's still named Captain Tootsie.
Hey, Tootsie!
Oh, it's so
sounds
good.
Like something like some like New York like construction worker. Hey, Tootsie, look at this broad over here.
Hey, Toots, come over here. Come over here. I'll get you a sandwich. It's good, dude. And I never would have in a million years. And what's funny is this isn't even his first appearance in the comic.
Right. No.
He's a
member of the SOS or something.
Right. It was implied he was rescued from Solar Man with the rest of the Golden Age characters.
Right.
Way back. And then he doesn't make his actual first appearance until a little bit later. I think in an SOS group shot.
There's a handy narration box that actually spells it out.
He makes his real appearance when the Demonoids attack Chicago in like I think it's 198, 199 with like the full page spread issue.
Right. Okay.
And he's actually colored a little different. So I don't know, I forget, but his coloring is different. But he's got the big T on his shirt, so you can tell it's him.
Right.
But the costume I think is like blue and something else. I don't know.
Nega Tootsie. Bizarro Tootsie. So, I mean, that just begs the question, though. What is your guys' favorite Tootsie Roll?
What?
I'm not a fan of Tootsie
Regular
Rolls.
one?
You don't know? Like, dude, okay, I hate chocolate Tootsie Rolls.
They're like the vanilla ones. Like you only get them at Halloween.
Gross.
Yeah, the ones that are special, like the orange one and the green one, those are the fucking bomb, dude.
Wow.
It's like tastes like a little popsicle.
Those are awful. I hate them.
Yeah. Those things kind of
I only
stay
like
at
the
the bottom of
chocolate
my
ones.
kid's candy bag.
So you've never tried
the
it? Is that
best-
what you're
the-
telling me?
Best chocolate Tootsie Rolls are the ones that are like really chewy and you can chew them for a long time.
Oh,
almost like
you
a
just
gum.
described the worst ones.
The
Oh.
ones that look like turds, they got the little
Yeah.
segments.
I love
They
them.
do look like turds. They look like fucking shit out of an animal.
You guys have no whimsy in your heart.
You know what? When I used to get a Tootsie Pop, that was like the cruelest surprise because, like, yay, I'm licking a sucker. And then all of a sudden your tongue hits this fucking gross, like, somebody that was only described what
Guys
chocolate
had like
tastes like.
bizarro childhood.
After your tongue got cut on like the candy seam
Yes,
of the lollipop.
that's the best
Right.
part.
Ugh.
Avoid
No,
it.
you- like,
Avoid
it
the
would-
seam. That's the game you play.
I hate it.
Tell your
It's
friends,
always-
tell your friends that if your wrapper has a star on it, you get a free one.
Oh,
These cruel tricks played on you, James.
yeah, that seems like a trick. I don't remember the free
Why
one.
am I calling you James this episode?
I don't know.
It's kind of
But
funny.
yeah, on the Tootsie Pop paper, occasionally there would be a guy with an arrow with a star at the end of the arrow,
Mhm.
and that doesn't appear on every single one because I guess the roll of paper it's uneven.
Uh-huh.
So the rumor always was that if you found one with a star, you could take it back to the store and get another lollipop.
Oh, I never heard that.
Really?
Yeah,
that wasn't universal? Wow.
No, I think that was a local thing.
It was a lie, but
I just remember Halloween. It was like, what am I saying? I remember because I still do this to this day with my kids' candy. It's like, oh, a choice of Tootsie Pop or Blow Pop. I'm taking the Blow Pop.
Every time.
I take the Tootsie Pop. The root beer
What?
Tootsie Pop. Oh, wait, no, not the root beer Tootsie Pop. The chocolate Tootsie Pop. The chocolate Tootsie Pop's the way to go.
I was going to say root beer is even worse.
I love root beer.
The only
so
thing
much.
worse than that is like Dum Dums,
Which ones are Dum Dums?
the tiny little mini.
This is like bank suckers. Like literally, like I think banks are required
the ones
by
that
the
like
government.
mystery surprise.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they
Get outta here with that.
Are they hard candy or are they?
You don't know? You never had a Dum Dum kid, like
Probably.
lollipop?
Oh, the
They are.
not really. I mean, like I said, the tiny ones.
It's as
Yeah.
small as
Yeah,
a marble.
Those are
almost.
the ones that I eat. Have the root beer ones. Those are my favorite Dum Dums. Root beer Dum Dums.
I
Yeah.
hate those.
You send in like 5,000 wrappers to get like a top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. A top, a wooden train. Yeah, shitty candy, dude. Shitty.
think you guys
I can't
just-
believe. You know what, dear listener, if you like the fruit flavored Tootsie Roll, please write in and just. I know Satiris Gravis is out there somewhere being like, hell yeah, dog, fruit. The fruit Tootsie Roll. It's the only good Tootsie
I
Roll.
don't know. They sound heinous.
It's the saving grace of the Tootsie Company. I'll have you know.
I think you're full of shit on this one.
Full of Tootsie Rolls, pinched
So
off.
you
and-
see the Tootsie Roll. You take the single ones in the wax paper. You take them out and you hold it long ways in your fingers and you try to squish it down as much as you can. And then
What
you
is this?
That's how I eat Tootsie Rolls. And then
Repugnant.
if you get the long one that's all broken up into segments, you don't eat it in segments. You eat it like a corn on the cob. You got to turn your candy into a game, you guys. You can't just eat candy.
I think that was a local
You can
thing.
eat candy, but not Tootsie.
You
not
just
Tootsie
pop a
product.
Tootsie Roll in your mouth and suck it.
Nah, it's if anything with elasticity, you gotta mold it.
It didn't have
Shape it.
elasticity, dude. It's like a little I hate Tootsie Rolls. They're like little blocks.
They're like chocolate toffee.
The only thing worse than like Tootsie's like Necco wafers or something.
Yeah.
I don't
Mary
care for
Jane's.
Neckos. But I do
Bingo.
but I always did like
The New England Confectionery Company.
Yeah. Fucking old fashioned candy for sure. Blah.
I always
Although-
I always love those little
although-
chalk things.
Although you guys are gonna crucify me because one of my favorite candy, I do like old fashioned flavors. I love black licorice. I love all different sorts and types of black
I'll
licorice.
be honest. I don't know
Gross.
if I've ever had black licorice to make a judgment.
I just got a bag of black licorice that's spicy.
I
and it's awesome.
always default to red licorice. So
Red is the only one worth having.
No,
I can't
Well,
make that
I'm
distinction.
sorry. Orange is okay too.
I love old medicine-y type
Yeah.
tasting stuff
Do you
like
eat- do you
Moxie
eat-
soda.
Do you eat the root beer bottles?
I would, yeah.
I mean,
I'm not
I
the
hate
hugest
Moxie.
root
I
beer
thought I
fan.
liked Moxie, but it's... See, I think it tastes like liquid bubble gum, but everyone else tells me it's like cherry cough syrup. Moxie.
It definitely tastes like some kind of medicine is in there.
Yeah.
I never had Moxie.
It's not for everyone.
No.
It's a low...
It's basically for no one besides like a handful of people.
Well, apparently the Moxie company's out of business and Coke handles the distribution now, so...
Yeah.
So in two cases, it's no longer with the original company, but it's also getting wider distribution now.
Uh-huh.
So you may find it in your local grocer. Buy a case.
There are a couple of places I can get it.
Black licorice, the funny thing about you liking that shit is that everybody that likes black licorice, they don't just like black licorice. They're like, oh, I had this super cool salty black licorice.
Yes, I
imported
love
from
awful.
Norway.
I bought some that have ammonia chloride in it, and it tastes. Yeah, it tastes almost like an ammonia aftertaste.
Cat piss.
Wow.
Like, just
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
in your mouth.
And I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Now,
But I
swear-
also enjoy real stinky cheese, and it kind of has a similar like. I just really like a lot of weird shit.
like what constitutes a stinky cheese?
Limburger, right?
Like a soft cheese or like trying to think of like a real stinky cheese, but like a moldy soft cheese, or like kind of like a bluer cheese or something like that, but real.
Like my mom gets brie sometimes, and
Yeah, but that's not real stinky. I mean,
Parmesan?
no Parmesan. Well, Parmesan is stinky, but
Smells like a foot.
maybe like camembert.
okay, yeah, okay. I think I know what that is. I think my mom eats that too.
Some goat cheeses
My,
are like.
my favorite old timey candy, and this is real nostalgic because when I was a kid, my grandmother worked at Woolworths, and Woolworths
Ooh.
had a freaking massive candy counter.
Mhm.
I always got snow caps. I love snow caps.
Yeah,
That
Snow
is
Caps
old
are good.
timey. That's old timey as shit.
That's the kind of candy you get at the movies too. They used to
Yeah.
always
Yep.
have boxes of that.
Yeah, they do still have boxes of that. Although I didn't see them last time at the theater. I was at the theater, so maybe they're finally phasing out.
I think they're still in rotation. I think you could get some.
All right.
Whoa,
So,
Captain
guys,
Tootsie sent us down
we,
a rabbit
we are
hole,
still
dude.
on the cover.
Wow. All right. We've lost half of our listeners, so now we're down to 2.
Candy discussion FINcast portion over.
For the candy. Thank you for the Savage Candy Cast. Fucking, I just thinking about the people that tell us they listen to us on the way to work. It's like, and now that you're on your way to work, now that you're in the parking lot of your job, and let's get into the comic. Oh my god, dude! This one starts out with a beautiful
Regular
splash page.
recurring villain.
Love it. The very last sex doll, Savage sex doll, just popping Malcolm in the kisser.
The captain's name is Tootsie.
Executed by Erik Larsen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she's the last fully put together
Yeah.
sex doll, or I
The
guess
last
they call them the
sentient.
perfect woman. But I guess they're in what's his name? Norm Spiegelman's little, I don't know, what would you call it? His
Warehouse,
factory,
I guess.
warehouse.
Because there's a lot of
'Cause there's-
spare parts in the background.
Yeah, yeah.
It's cool. I like that this exists because I think that where Norm vanished, I think it's cool that just there was this guy with this creepy hidey hole.
Right.
And I think that, even if Norm is dead, you got this thing here that can happen still. Like, these are just robots at the
I
end
hope
of the
she
day.
reforms. I hope she sticks around.
Wouldn't that be great? Or just see her maybe become a hero, or they repurpose her or something.
Right.
I'd love it.
Saves you and you get a hand job after.
Yes. I just love a happy ending. Okay. Beep, boop, boop.
What? I'm assuming, I mean, they don't come right out and say it, but I'm assuming Malcolm went with the cops to see what they could find about Norm Spiegelman, right?
Right.
It
They're
didn't
investigating.
didn't expect to find the robot there.
Yeah, this one just returned to the base and apparently didn't get the memo. And so when Malcolm goes to investigate, like, they have a little brawl there. That's what I'm assuming too. And it's cool because you get to see like just the random, like the shelf of heads. Like, it's creepy. It makes him a little creepier, just to see like the shelf of heads and
All
the
these
shelf of
naked
torsos.
bodies,
Yeah.
torsos,
Shelf of vaginas.
Yeah, I tried to steer into these. Did you say machine washable?
Maybe.
I tried to see if there was any Easter eggs in these heads. I don't think there is. Did you guys like pick up on any like surprise cameos or anything?
No, just the panel where he's talking to the officer. There's one that looks like Dart kind of, but
I thought so too.
But I don't think it is. One thing is kind of a little neat thing is we get the name of, I think, our first Toronto officer, which they don't come out and say it on this scene, but you find out the guy's name is Officer Moonbeam.
Moonbeam.
Oh, what the heck? What's going on with that? But
isn't that great, dude? What a weird name.
Maybe he's a native Canadian.
The Moonbeams. You know what's funny is, as researched as the Canada arc has been, I kind of wonder if like Erik looked into it and was like, "Oh, Moonbeam is a common name in Canada." What? And like put it in the comic.
Kind of like your ass is a common name in America,
Chicago,
United States.
I will say on this Captain Tootsie page, I super duper love the background behind the Captain Tootsie.
Yeah.
The gate, like the...
Yeah, because it almost looks photo, but then what's funny is if you zoom in real close, that's like crosshatched in there.
Well, you're talking
but
about
it's got to be a photo, right?
It's got to be.
That's either, I'm not going to say traced, it's like a filter.
I'm just saying it's got a cool look.
I like the guy in the background running to catch his
I think
flight.
he might have darkened up the shadows a bit, probably, but I'm pretty sure that's photo manip.
It's cool though, dude. I like it. I think it looks cool.
I mean, it looks great. It looks fine.
I like
the exterior of it.
Oh yeah,
because that is clearly fully drawn, probably from reference, but it is a drawing.
And the snow on the car.
You'd be surprised. I don't think that's a full. Either it's traced over, or because being the weirdo I am, I looked up the Toronto airport.
Yeah,
it's Toronto Pearson Airport, and there's like the images look spot on.
Ooh,
like it looks like it.
I guess what I'm saying is it looks like if it's a trace, it looks like a drawing, whereas the background looks like a photo.
Well, see, that's what I think is cool about this is, like I said, like even though that clearly doesn't look like something he would normally just draw, because it's like slathered in that cross-hatching, it kind of still looks drawn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the same thing's going on with the police station. If you look at like the marquee of the police station, yeah, that looks like it's a photo referenced police station.
Right.
But then like the bottom of the sign of the police station's covered in Larsen cross-hatching.
Sure.
So it's cool. I don't know.
I mean, that's looks like a drawing from reference, opposed to the actual photograph like being put through a filter, which is what it kind of looks like to me.
Yeah.
But again, we could always just ask Erik what his technique was next time we talk to him.
You won't remember.
No.
It is funny how now he, like, as opposed to in Chicago, like in Toronto, he really does go out of his way to reference like real places.
Yep.
I love it, dude. Which makes you wonder. It's funny. I think like a lot of people feel like the book will just eventually go back to Chicago.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, dude. But like, if the book ever does go back to Chicago, I wonder if like now that he's gotten like reference fever, I wonder if he'll like start referencing Chicago,
Maybe.
like a lot more.
And that bean the one time.
Yeah, the bean, dude. I was so happy when the bean was in there because I was like, "Oh, the bean, sweet." It really is. Every time someone goes to Chicago, there's a photo of them with the bean. Every time.
I got one.
I did too. Every time. And every Facebook friend I have is like, oh, I'm going to Chicago this weekend. Boop, there's the bean.
Yeah, I do enjoy how like Erik goes out of his way to draw like snow or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to, but it's cool.
I think there's good acting even here too on Malcolm's face, like when he's looking in just that big panel of him looking into
Malcolm's
the.
so fucking stupid.
What?
Why would you watch that? What were you
Dude,
thinking?
he had to know, like he just
Know
had to
what?
see it.
What a douche.
Maybe he was like, I don't know. He still wasn't so sure that what the demonoid said was true because
It makes him a giant douchebag.
why?
Yeah,
Because
but
he's
dude,
an asshole.
he just needed that
And
closure.
he
you know
can't
what I
trust his own wife. What?
Yeah,
a
but I mean,
douche.
it's not like Maxine hasn't said like stuff about monsters in Dimension X and shit like that.
Ugh.
Like she's brought things up herself
Yeah,
that
dude.
make it questionable.
Ugh.
Like, didn't she ask like Angel if she had sex with monsters in Dimension X
A
or
little
something?
bit different when you've been raped to death.
Well, you never know how it went
Instead
down,
of
though.
just being flirty. Still. Malcolm's an asshole, and now he's got to live with it.
Well, I mean, that's what's the interesting story beat in here, and he gets confronted on it. Is what's so funny, is that he watched the tape, and I guess really he didn't have to. But the thing is that like, yeah, he might have like had his like you'd say it was jerky of him to watch it, but I mean, look at his reaction, dude. GD, like he clearly like. It was fucking, he regretted it instantly. Like, he's fucking, tears are rolling down his face. And he tells Moonbeam, he's like, you got to destroy this. He's like, this can never be seen. Like, no one can ever see this. And Moonbeam's like, oh, yeah, fucking absolutely. Like, we're going to destroy this shit. But, and then, yeah, he walks away. He's like, I can't unsee it, He might have been a dick to go see it. But, like, dude, he paid the consequences big time.
Such a great panel though, that face, like it's such good Larsen art.
Even like I said, like the panel below it where like he's like turned like yeah. And I think he put that panel where he's like, this can't get out, this can't be circulated. He put that up in black and white on Twitter. So good, the cross hatching.
Yeah.
Just the hatching on the faces and stuff.
Stuff going on with the
he's-
fin's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool. Remember when like Malcolm first kind of got buff and stuff, and it seemed like his face at times could get a little wonky, and Erik was still feeling it out. But at this point, he's just nailed like Malcolm's look down.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Definitely. It's consistent.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good acting. And then we flip the page. And Jim, you had a great quote on
the
this.
second most awful person in this issue.
Yeah, she just becomes a shithead instantly.
Giant shithead.
Yeah, dude.
Frankly, Maxine, this could be just.
We're talking about Jennifer for the listener. Does not look.
No, we're talking about Angel.
I mean, Angel.
Who
I'm
has suddenly
sorry.
turned into the worst supervillain of the book.
Super butthole, dude. She's
to be honest, the way everyone's treating her, Maxine would be completely justified in becoming a supervillain after this issue.
Uh-oh, you're just
Everyone
spilling the theory right
awful
now.
To Maxine this issue.
Yeah. It's pretty much people being shitty. I think Malcolm, even though I don't think he's it's not the same level of shitty. Like Angel is aggressively shitty. Malcolm kind of has almost just a ignorance about the way he acts.
Yeah.
Like going to see the tape. It's like, all right, like, a really, really killer good boyfriend would have never even needed to see it.
But he's kind of a dope.
But he's kind of dope. Yeah. So he had to see it. And as soon as he sees it, he's like, oh, shit. And then, like, the girls are climbing all over. He's like, hey, ladies, want to climb one more? Duh. And he's not, like, thinking about how it's making, Maxine feel. Like, I don't think he was aggressively being a dick in that scene. He just was being thoughtless. It's still bad, but it's not the same as like Angel in this issue is being a capital B with an itch.
I mean, I understand her frustrations over Jackson, but her comments about wanting to sleep with Malcolm,
yeah,
pretty
dude.
fucking shitty.
Yeah, dude. Even like she's like, didn't your therapist say that you should get back on it? Well, if you don't, I will. And it's like, whoa,
What?
what?
It's not. That's not cool. It's only cool if it's consensual between all parties, Angel.
Super douchebaggy. But it was funny too in this scene, like Maxine brings it up, and I hadn't even thought about it. I was like, oh duh, like no shit. Like Malcolm's world famous. Like the world knows him.
Right.
And so if the world had that memory of Angel and Malcolm being together, and here we get the new information because it was never told, it was never commented on, but of course Maxine would have gotten that memory too, that the world knew that Malcolm and Angel were together and no one cared. And that was always her hesitation before. She was like, oh, we can't be together. Oh, what would people say? But like now she's seen a reality where they were together and like people were like, whatever. We don't give a shit.
We don't care that you were what would they be?
Half like stepbrothers.
I guess step. Yeah, they'd be step siblings.
Yeah. So interesting shit, like bad behavior, but interesting shit, like crazy being dumped in this scene here, dude. Oh, what the fuck is Angel on about, dude? She's being so shitty. Now, I'm gonna ask you two something. What's this virgin stuff coming from?
Oh, because she regenerated her lower torso. It's just like when Dragon's vasectomy got undone.
Torso, right? Okay, ripped in half.
Right.
Okay, because when she got brought back from the dead before,
she had her lower torso.
She had her lower torso.
Although, to be honest, with all that freak out shit in her fucking teeth, she probably should have become a virgin then, too.
Yeah.
Well, that was what was throwing me. As I was like, is this her second time becoming a virgin, or...
Well, yeah, I don't know how that works.
I'm pretty sure they're implying that this is the first time because of her torso.
I think this is I think you're right, dude. I think that you're right. I think the getting ripped in half. So when she was brought back together, her body put itself back together just in its original state.
Right.
And there you go. The hymen was back and intact. Okay. Yikes, dude. Crazy shit. And so that's on top of her, like, fucking, like, trauma. Craziness, dude. This whole shit was crazy. Like, I didn't see Angel being so aggressively shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
It was a surprise. It seemed to kind of come out of nowhere, but I don't know. It seems like they hate each other, obviously.
Well,
I liked,
how
do I phrase this? On the last page of the Maxine, Malcolm, Angel scene, the very last panel when Malcolm says that Maxine's gone through a traumatic experience and it's going to take time for those wounds to heal. Mm-hmm. And Maxine's making this look like, what the fuck are you saying?
It's when she figures it out right there. That's the scene. That's when she knows he's seen the tape.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, it's going to be okay. Oh, and he's hugging her. And so she knows he must... I don't guess we really saw it, but he must have been acting differently after having seen the tape.
Makes sense.
Than he was before.
Yeah. I understand what you're going through. It can't possibly be easy. Take all the time you need. No pressure. Yes, I am a human. These are human statements.
I like how mad you are at Malcolm.
Malcolm is a shithead. A dumbass.
I don't think he was as bad.
Angel is just being completely irrational in a very bad time. Nobody is giving Maxine any kind of like respect for her experience.
You want to know what's funny though? Craig, when you said it seemed to come out of nowhere, think back a little bit. In the sewers and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Angel was pretty aggressive. She made it pretty clear that she was there for Malcolm. She's like, oh, it was fun fooling around, but I wasn't there for Maxine. And gotta say, definitely think that And she was having baby fever in an earlier issue too. I think wasn't she? Wasn't she like, oh my baby, I want to hold him or something like that?
I'm sure she's always. It's getting worse the older he gets.
Who's her roommate? Do we know?
I don't think we met him or her or whoever.
I think it's that enchilada and the vibrator.
The vibrator is the roommate.
I don't have this month's rent. That was a vibrator talking.
She gets a sex doll to be her roommate.
Oh, it's good. There's lots of
the
good
vibrator
stuff
on in the background.
Oh, that's me. I'm sorry, dude. It's freezing. It's fucking freezing in here if I don't have that going. I'm sorry.
Oh, what do you have?
A vibrator?
It's a vibrator. It throws out a lot of heat. Nah, it's just a space heater, dude. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Just thought you were pleasuring yourself as we talked.
I just keep some anal beads in. It's fine. I don't need a vibrator. The pool noodle. There's good stuff. I just want to say, like, there's good stuff art-wise going on. Like, even like Maxine sticking her tongue out, and like, there's just like so much good stuff going on, and like this, like, just a little conversation piece. Just good stuff.
Yeah.
And like Jim, like you said, just to echo your sentiment, the face where Maxine's like sort of figuring it out. It's a good face. And then we're at Gene Tech Labs.
So, Craig, you had some issues with like the continuity of this Captain Tootsie plot.
I think I figured it out.
Well, maybe we can figure it out together.
All right. I read it a few times and it made sense.
All right. So, Tootsie arrives in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And hold on a second.
First thing he does is he meets up with Buddy.
With his friend who would have been a kid when Tootsie was a Golden Age hero, who's now an old man.
Right.
Which he's taking in stride. He's not.
He's the brother of one of the.
He's Rollo's
Secret
brother.
Legion.
Yep.
I'm just trying to. During the airport scene, he doesn't really say why he's in Canada.
No, nope. But you only see that he's going to meet this guy, and this guy's significance, Buddy's significance is that Buddy was a former security guard at that Gene Tech lab.
Gene Tech lab, okay.
So specific. We don't realize it when he goes to meet Buddy, but meeting Buddy isn't just meeting with an old chum. Buddy's got the hookup to get Captain Tootsie into the lab.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah, it makes sense. So Tootsie, I guess I assume that because Tootsie was SOS, he was sent to Canada for Malcolm, but it looks like it's unrelated. He just is expecting Malcolm.
In your defense,
it might be that he was sent from Malcolm, but once he got into Canada, he had different ideas.
Right.
In your defense, Jim, I'm totally with you in that when I initially read it, I was like fucking completely perplexed. But what's funny, Craig, is that I read where you were sort of like, oh yeah, this is what happened and blah, blah, blah. And I went back and reread it and it makes like a lot more sense. It's not for like, if you do a quick read, it actually is like throws you pretty hard.
Yeah, it did for me. And we can go through it, but
what's funny is,
go ahead.
All I was going to say is if you give it a second read and you actually are like thinking about what's happening, it actually makes like a lot more sense on the second read.
Well,
but keep going.
Here's something that doesn't make as much sense. Just order of events. Tootsie's at Gene Tech, and then we're in the bedroom with Maxine and Malcolm, where Maxine is reading Malcolm's riot act.
I know what you're gonna say. This here. Go ahead.
And they're reading. They're having their well. Maxine's mostly telling him that he's a piece of shit because he's a piece of shit. But then we get a time jump, and they're at the mall.
Yeah, you gotta imagine it's the next day.
It's the next day.
But he tells them though that they'll have 24 hours of lab access.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this process of retrieving the secret
taking them
Legion
all day or something. So this must be like over the weekend or something like that, because people are out shopping at the mall or whatever. So
maybe it was a left page, right page thing, but I almost feel like these 2 pages should have been swapped.
It threw me too. I was like, wait a minute, they're in bed now. They're up. How long have these guys been in the
lab?
The lab. And because when he punches them, it's kind of like it's like nighttime again. So that kind of throws me off too.
Right.
So
yeah,
but it makes sense when you read that he says we have 24 hours. So I got to imagine like it's a weekend where the lab's closed and they've just been in there for kind of whatever 23 hours or 24 hours just working up this equipment to send this homing beacon out.
Yeah, that's it. Is it just takes 24 hours, and so when Maxine and Malcolm are in bed, Captain Tootsie and Buddy have just gotten started.
Right.
And
I think that's sort of why we see the yellow light. Of course, I think that's just dawn.
Rising sun. Yeah.
Where's that? Where the ship?
The I tried and you believed him panel. You see the sun sort of coming up, like where Maxine's like walking all over Malcolm. Yeah, so like it's night, like they're sleeping, and she's like, so you can even assume that like that's the morning, like she's walking all over him, and like it's morning time.
Right. And then also at the mall, while Malcolm and Angel are shitbags, apparently all these guys are shitbags too. Look at all these shitbags.
Yeah, these shitbags, dude. Look at their teeth. Like, Erik sure did make them goony.
All that
they're all drooling and shit.
Canadian politeness.
Look at their boners. Like, these guys sure... The clerk says, these guys sure are happy to see you, and Maxine's, like, looking at the guy's boner. Like,
I didn't even get that. Oh.
Yeah,
I totally missed that.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. She's like, should I know you? Are you somebody famous? And Maxine says, no, not really. And she goes, they seem happy to see you. And like, you can totally see the dude's boner in the foreground.
Yeah, I didn't get that though. Like, I just thought maybe because they're all crowded around. But now that you say that, I see it, and now I can't unsee it.
Hidden boner. Crouching dragon, hidden boner. Yeah.
Meanwhile, all these girls are flirting with Malcolm, and he's lift them all up to take a photo.
Because he's a douchebag.
Got room for one more. It's like, come on, Malcolm. Like I said, I can't say he's being aggressively shitty, but he's definitely being thoughtless. Like, definitely should have known better. Yikes. Yeah, the panel of creeps is great. I love the Maxine running off the page, like with the shopping bags in her hands.
Yeah, that's great. She's got those Larsen boots on with the buckles.
Mm-hmm. And I like the little logos too, like that he went in and put the little logos on the bags. Like you got Fossil and Hudson Bay apparently.
Yeah.
Like you've got it's just a nice little touch. That's all.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool. And apparently they own a car.
Even the cops are creeps, is what's bad. Look at these cops.
They're all got shit-eating grins.
And then we get to the meat and potatoes of the meat and potatoes.
Malcolm gets called by the cops to check out the situation.
See, now here's the dialogue that threw you, Jim. It threw me too. I thought this might get your attention. I counted on it.
Right.
And then followed that up by, don't forget, I'm a government agent. I take orders from the President of the United States. So like that super threw me, man. Right.
Well, I think so for me after reading it again is so you see that giant beam blast go through the building. So now he's like, oh shit. He knows that Malcolm's in Toronto. Bingo. So he knows he doesn't have much time left if that ship's gonna come. So he's got to stall Malcolm.
Right. And in fact, he's like, oh, we got to get out of this lab, and like punches him out of the lab to protect the computers. So it's like one of those things that is way more apparent on a second read.
But why not just say, this is what I'm doing?
I know, dude. That's the only thing I still struggle with. Because if he thinks that Malcolm's a hero, because he's a hero, why not just turn and be like, bro, I just had to steal this lab equipment to use it for a minute. Like, sorry. Like, don't beat
Save
me
5
up.
children from being lost in space.
Yeah. I got to retrieve my long lost friends. Like, please don't. Let's not fight. Instead, he just starts whooping some ass.
So I bought the Incredible Hulk issue in question.
Ooh.
Just to check the fight scenes to see if like Erik was like referencing something, like including the fight, as part of like
the reference.
Yeah, the reference. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good thinking.
Can confirm.
Good thinking for sure. I do think that this is an interesting sequence because, like I said, I don't mind that they fought. Of course, it makes way more sense for Captain Tootsie to just say, hey, bro, let's not fight.
Maybe he had to put on a show for his handlers. I don't know.
Yeah, or even that could be it. So, like, oh, damn, good point, dude.
But who's listening? Who's watching?
Well, like, if he didn't fight Malcolm, like, how would it look?
Right.
Yeah, so, like, he got sent there to get Malcolm, but he decided... So, don't forget, there's, like, a no alien policy in the U.S.
Right.
So, how would it look if a giant spaceship came to the U.S.? So, he's got plans to go to Canada and summon the ship over there.
Good point.
But he was sent originally to get Malcolm, so... You make a good point. You guys make a good point I didn't think of is that the fight scene, he's got to make it look like he actually tried to subdue Malcolm so that it looks good for the news.
And it's actually really, I think it gives Malcolm a really great moment because Malcolm, like where he says, if you think about like what's the fight's happening here, Tootsie's actually going blow for blow strength wise.
Oh, sure.
Which is surprising. Like
Power
he's
of
just
Tootsie Rolls.
I just didn't think he was gonna be that strong, dude. But like, yeah, he's going blow for blow, and Malcolm lays it out on him. He's like, I've had it with you in the United States, and I'm not going anywhere. And then he says, I don't care what I have to do. And so clearly he's about to bust out the lightning power and maybe even kill Captain Tootsie, which is pretty fucking extreme. And so like Maxine yells, no, Malcolm, don't hurt him. And I was just like, oh, even though this fight kind of seems like it's coming out of nowhere, which after talking to you guys, I think it actually makes a lot more sense for him to like put on this show because he clearly has these ulterior motives. So, yeah. And fucking here come the guys in a fucking spaceship of all things. So I think that, yeah, that makes like a lot more sense. It's a good moment for Malcolm too.
It's the rocket ship's on model from the Adventures of Captain Tootsie comic. The Rocketeer ship. Even
though it's basic as hell, like design wise, isn't that kind of like kick ass looking when it shows up?
Yeah.
It kind of has an awesome look. Like to be so basic, that panel where it shows up is kind of great.
It is. I like it.
Brazak, and then he gets blasted. And we got now I want to touch on something. Craig, I believe you said that you felt that this may tread a bit too closely to Daredevil and the Little Wise Guys. Now,
and I think it's just a golden age trope, but
how you feeling now?
We'll see. I mean, so if I really don't think Erik will redo something like this, but if it's Captain Tootsie is going to be a supporting character and these guys are going to be everywhere around him, it feels a little too close to Daredevil and the Little Wise Guys for me. But I haven't seen enough to really make that evaluation.
I think there's an interesting dynamic. The reason why I wanted to bring it up is I think it gives us a great chance to compare and contrast. For one, these kids shouldn't have immortality, so they should start aging normally. Because they weren't contained in anything that gave them the immortality. They were just lost in space.
Right.
And so he tells him, he's like, oh, time travels slower when you're in space. So these kids actually can grow up and grow old.
Right.
Right.
And then the other thing that makes him different from the Little Wise Guys is actually, I know it seems weird, but Buddy, like the old man,
Yeah.
like Rollo's brother. So here, the whole time that like these guys have been lost in space and they're saying shit like "gee willikins," you know, you got fucking Buddy there that's like he's lived on Earth to the point to where he's an old man. So you know he's gonna like catch his brother up and be like, "Yeah, dude, you know we've got cell phones,
We see
the
on
internet."
Fleek now.
Well, you'll see the kids dabbing next time. We play Fortnite now, Rollo. Get hip. Yeah, so I think where it might initially perhaps seem like this could stray a little too close to Little Wise Guy's territory, I think Captain Tootsie's a bit more interesting than Daredevil, actually. Because kind of here's a guy that is willing to disobey his government.
Right.
But is also still, like, he's not like Freak Force. Like, he hasn't gone to Canada. Like, he's just
rogue.
Like, yeah, he's not gone rogue. He's still, like, working with the
Daredevil
SOS.
is still working for the SOS. Or wait, because the last time he turned on him to help him get out of Dimension X.
Yeah, he defected.
We haven't seen him in Freak Force, though. He must be doing his own thing. Was he in last issue?
When they were fighting demonoids,
sure.
he was there.
Oh, he was fighting the demonoids.
Yeah, he was fighting demonoids.
Oh, my memory.
Just the way you said that, I felt so sad. You said, "Oh, my memory." So I got to ask you, like, you
guess
guys,
he is
like,
on the cover. Okay.
you brought up something I didn't even think about. Like, clearly, Captain Tootsie doesn't get to fucking keep this spaceship.
Why not?
Why?
He can't take it back to America.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, now they got this alien technology that Tootsie himself built, I would assume, if we're staying on model to the original Captain Tootsie. So, it's kind of like here's going to be just this spaceship on the loose that has been to Venus. I don't know. It's a cool thing to be in the book. You know what I mean?
It's hard to say, like, what its context is because, you know, it feels like the spaceship and these kids are all part from the comic strip. And maybe they should have ran some of those as backups.
I agree with you. I think that's an awesome idea. Like, it kind of would be cool. And they could have done it because, like you say, it's public domain, so...
Right. But it's hard to say, like the quality of the scans or how comfortable Erik is reprinting work that, you know, the artists don't get credit for, you know, we get payment for, or the...
Well, CC Beck's dead.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think he gives a shit. He's dead and his work's in public domain. Like, once your work's in public domain, you kind of can't do anything about it.
But it's only in public domain because no one gave a shit about it.
No, because the time period is up.
This was before Steamboat Willie.
Oh, that long.
Yeah, that's basically how you know, like, things that are in public domain already are, like, pre-Steamboat Willie.
That doesn't make sense. Steamboat Willie was, like... When was Steamboat Willie?
But
because that would mean that Captain Marvel predates Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, and...
That doesn't sound right.
No, but hold on here. You're messing with my head. But, like, Disney changed the law. That's why Steamboat Willie's the gauge.
Right.
Like, that's what I'm saying is, like, so that's why you use Steamboat Willie.
Because Captain Tootsie is the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, but Steamboat Willie is like the 20s. Hold on.
We got... If only there was some device that we could use to find it.
A mother box.
Yeah. The listeners. Yeah, I like this Captain Tootsie.
Yeah, Steamboat Willie is 1928.
So when was Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel is like 1930 something.
So how is Captain Marvel not?
Because the copyrights were allowed to lapse, they weren't renewed.
That's not quite how public domain works, isn't it?
I think
so. Anything that's just not like, I thought it was time from author's death.
It is time because I know they celebrate it every year, and like there's a bunch of stuff that came up this year.
Felix the cat. a bunch of Felix the Cat shit came into public domain this year.
Well, a bunch of Robert Frost poems came up that were huge. That are up for, like that anyone can publish now. That was like the big because they just had like public domain day like last week.
Right.
Yeah.
They celebrate it like every year.
I mean, Captain Tootsie's 1940.
I guess it would have been like the first or something.
Yeah, first appearance Ace Comics, July 43.
Then there's that abandoned works, and he might fall under abandoned works.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's more than likely is that the Captain Marvel material is out in public domain because of that period between when Fawcett sold it to DC and DC didn't do anything with it.
In general, it says works published after 1977 will not fall into public domain until 70 years after the death of author, or for corporate works, anonymous works, or works for hire, 95 years from the date of publication or 120 years from the date of creation, whichever expires first.
Right. But maybe because I don't even think it's been 70 years since C.C. Beck died.
So that means Superman comes up soon?
Well, that's the big like freak out is that I think in like 2024, it's real soon. In like 2024, Mickey Mouse and Superman are technically going to be public domain, and everybody's totally already saying it that they think Disney's just going to change the law again. Like that, it's already like I've seen like lawyers predicting that they're just going to change the law again. So. Also, too, you've got an issue of trademark with Superman and Mickey Mouse.
Well, that's the thing. The copyrighted work would be in public domain, but be very hard to use because the trademarks are in
still
they're
forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
I mean, I've got ideas of how to do a Superman comic without Superman, or without S Shields and
strong guy.
Curlicues. I mean, like Captain Marvel, you could call him Superman in the work, but you can't call the comic Superman.
Can't be on the cover, right?
Right. You can't promote him as Superman.
Before we leave this Captain Tootsie saga, I have to hear both of you give me a Hootin Zoots.
Hootin Zoots?
Hootin Zoots!
Is that how you hear it when you? Because we're just reading it.
So you gotta put the emphasis on the Zoots.
How about you, Jim?
Hootin Zoots.
I read it kind of like Hootin Zoots.
Ah, that's a good one.
More gravelly, more Hootin Zoots.
Rollo. Hootin Zoots. 2018 Hootin Zoots. Gosh, buddy, is that really you?
I'm going to start adding that into my lexicon.
Hootin Zoots.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to hear Jim one more time talk about what a shitbag angel is.
Well, look at her. She's fucking sabotaging Jackson right behind Maxine's back.
I know, dude.
You have blue eyes just
Let's
like
confuse
me.
the baby.
Why? Do you know why you have blue eyes?
And he's like, why?
Because genetics. And goes in a whole spiel about recessive genes.
Because your dad's a man whore.
Oh, lordy, dudes.
That's not cool, Angel.
No. Angel's being a total butthole. Ho, 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 I have a machine gun.
PJ's back.
Now, did you see this PJ twist?
Yeah,
No.
Actually, I kind of thought, because I recall...
You did not.
I
You
did. I did. Because I recall that PJ, last time we saw PJ, he basically told us flat out he's going to take Freak Out so he can grow up.
He did?
Yeah, he did. He was sick of being a kid, and he basically told, I think, either Malcolm or whoever he was with, he said, yeah, I'm going to go take Freak Out, because I think all the little wise guys died, so he didn't have any friends anymore. So he said, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
I think it's when Dart killed all the wise guys.
Is it wrong that I thought he was coming out as gay when I read that first panel in that page?
I mean, it might be. Oh, him and Frank?
Yeah, because it was like, whoa, hey, PJ, when Frank said he was bringing along a friend, I assumed it was a girl. And I thought that was their coming out.
First of all, Malcolm, rude.
Now, who in the fuck is Layla?
What are you talking about? That's what's her name's Frank and Tiara's first kid.
Yeah.
Frank and Tierra's baby?
Yeah, she had a baby.
Oh, geez, that's right.
Mm-hmm. And now she's gonna go play with Amy and get her arms ripped off.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I was like, had trouble, like, because they mentioned Layla twice. Like, Maxine was like, they got Layla. And I was like, damn, who's Layla?
Wow. Maybe there's something that you could look these things up in the future.
If only there were a way.
Some kind of dream box contraption.
If only we don't have the technology. We simply lack the technology. Well, okay, you might have seen adult PJ coming, Super Sleuth,
Yep.
but did you see his eternal blood?
Maybe.
I love this twist. I love this twist because you have Maxine has all the reason in the world to not ever want to die.
Right.
She's scared she'll go to hell again.
She doesn't like the look of hell, so this is the next best thing.
Yep.
The funniest thing is next issue he opens it up and it's just all dried up. Oops, sorry.
Sorry, my blood clotted.
I think my feeling is she's gonna slap it out of his hands. Just smack it. Get that away from me.
What if the baby drinks it? Forever, baby.
That's not good.
No, that's not good. Forever, baby. That's a new recurring
He's so
character.
worthless.
Forever, baby. Nah, I don't know, dude. I don't know where it's going, but I love it. I love that twist where he shows up with the immortality blood. And it's even funnier because, like, Maxine was like, oh, yeah, give me some of that fucking blood, bro. Like,
She was way into it for a time.
yeah, she was into it. Be young forever. Now, again, I think it's worth mentioning because, like, we're kind of going to just bring it up here because we're talking about it. But, like, having that blood doesn't make you, obviously, as we saw with the little wise guys, you'd still get fucking chopped up and shoved down a drain.
Yeah,
It's not really a great solution if all you're scared of is hell.
It's worst kind of immortality. Well, second worst kind of immortality. The worst kind of immortality is the kind you get when you're a Dracula. No matter how many pieces you get cut into, you keep living.
Yeah, it's bad immortality.
It's not fun to be ash
so this
for eternity.
being immortal but able to die is a bad immortal. That's
why I always thought Highlanders were stupid. You're not really immortal if you just get your head chopped off.
Yeah, because anybody would die from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never fucking thought that was good either. I was like, The quickening was the only thing that made that good.
Because all the immortals got to kill each other.
Yeah.
What a stupid concept.
Yeah, shit films when you think about it. Just don't think about it.
Can I confess I've never seen any of the Highlander films?
I haven't seen the first one. I actually just bought it. I got to watch it.
I am immortal. I have inside me blood of kings.
What's the name of the star of that?
Oh,
Highlander.
Lambert. Christopher Lambert.
You know what's funny?
He's a funny type of act, just one of those actors that
just say he's ugly.
No, I don't even think of that. Just say he's ugly. Okay, he's ugly. I'm sorry.
Just say he's ugly.
He's just like one of those weird B actors that everybody knows, or C actors. I don't even know if he's a B actor. But he's so well known for that.
Everything I know about Highlander, I know from references to Christopher Lambert on both Aqua Teen and the Venture Brothers. And then in the 90s, they kept trying to sell me replica swords on television from the movie.
It's either him or the guy from Beastmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another good one. Be celebrity. GD. Nah, man.
Can I say I'm loving how much letters the book seem to be getting lately?
Agreed. It fills my heart with joy.
I love when there's 2 or 3 pages of letters.
Yeah, because I read them shits later. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Love them.
Yeah. Thank you, writers of letters. Keep them coming.
We got 2 doses of funnies this time.
Yeah, man. Now that was a nice twist.
Zombie John has showed up before in like a Pop Gun anthology from Image Comics.
Yes, but all the same, is that not a hilarious gag?
It is.
I love it. I love Eat More Bikes too.
Yeah. Rodney heard everything.
So
Hot
good.
gossip, secrets, his parents having sex.
Little frowny.
Little frowny face.
That's a good looking ad there.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous FINcast ad. Got to give
Man.
props to that Raven dude and Adam Pruitt.
Yeah, Adam Pruitt,
They
baby.
did certainly do a good job.
He made it sing.
Maybe that will boost our listeners.
Maybe.
If it doesn't, like they're first time listeners, they're gonna get to the candy part and just totally zone the fucking.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck? What?
Talking about candy? Gee, oh, my favorite Tootsie Roll. What? Oh, we fucked up. We had one shot and we blew it.
It's true.
We'll ask Adam to put on there next time. It's not always about Tootsie Rolls.
It's not always about everything else but Dragon.
Right. So, I said it last time, I'll say it again. I dig this Night Watchman when it has room to breathe.
Right.
And so, even though this would have been primo real estate for Captain Tootsie reprints, I can totally live with this Night Watchman backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look Adam Pruitt's on colors, and he did a bang up job because this originally was printed in black and white in Big Bang Comics.
Oh, dude, the coloring is beautiful in this. Like, fucking, when Night Watchman's bursting through the ceiling and, like, the guys are green and the background's red. Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Great art, really emulates, the style of the time.
You can almost hear the dun 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 dun.
Wow, wow.
What do you say we do the Night Tootsie, old chum?
And I'm digging. So the back cover has also got funnies, and I'm digging that that dress, that title with the Night Watchman and the Savage Dragon heads.
Yes,
That's the second time he's used it, and it looks good.
It's great. I
Double
love it.
billing.
Comics, games, puzzles, magic. Love it. Yeah, and shout outs to Moonbeard. Fantastic. It's good
Yes.
stuff.
And the heck if I know comics, because it's so true.
Oh, dude, yeah.
People that try to tell you their dreams, and it's just like, ugh.
Want to hear about my dream from last night?
No, never. I never want to hear about your dream. It means nothing.
I
I
had a
don't
crazy
care.
dream last night.
Oh,
You did not.
Well, it was very disturbing.
You did
It
not.
woke me up. It was,
he's gonna tell us. He's gonna do it.
I can't even really describe it. It was... The only thing I can really remember was my car got stolen.
He's doing it. He's
You know,
going
it,
for
it,
it.
it
This
got
is
me staying in one place, so I couldn't leave.
This is not real.
And there was this horrific thing involving Skull the Troll from PvP,
What?
and that woke me up.
You dreamt it?
Yeah. They were shoving something in his mouth, and it caused him to turn transparent and blow up like a balloon and explode.
Were you recently reading P versus P comics?
No, just always on my mind.
Really?
So kinda. I mean, I've been reading that comic for 20 years.
No kidding.
Does Scott Kurtz now?
Yeah. Yes, the Scott Kurtz comic. But yeah,
Does
Do you
he
have
know-
do you have all the hard copies?
no. I don't like it that much.
Not a real fan.
No.
Yeah. I think I know people that have PvP tattoos, so you gotta step up your game.
It's just a really fucking weird dream. And now, 24 hours later, I can't remember any of the real details about it.
That comic was odd when it was published through Image, and it had the staples at the top.
I like that. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't.
And
I think newspaper strips like that, at least style wise, I think that works the best. But they do not stand up well if you don't bag and board them.
Yeah,
they sag real bad.
I think that was the hard thing for comic shops to.
Yeah, because if you just set them up, they would just kind of slump over. And it was a problem.
Do you remember he did like the Megaton 3?
Oh yeah,
homage?
Yes, yeah, I do remember that. Of course, that's not the worst format. The worst format was this comic called Clockmaker.
Oh yeah,
a
I
big
had that. And
fold out, 4-fold, huge comic.
It came out the same time Invincible 1 and Fire Breather came out. Yeah, it was goddamn ridiculous.
Great idea, but oh my god, people who collect comics balked.
No, it wasn't even a good idea. It was a unique idea.
It was big like that Wednesday comics book because it was like well maybe it wasn't quite like that because it was 4 regular comics was 1 page in size.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe the Dragon McSweeney's pages were about the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just rambling now. All I know is...
No, I think you're right.
McSweeney's page is like, fold out to like a full-size newspaper.
Yeah. All I know is...
The Wednesday comics are like that, too. I actually got the collection, the trade, and it's like the size of one of those artist editions. It's huge. Anyway.
Yeah. Weird comic formats are cool, but goddamn do they get a bad rap from collectors because generally they're really easy to damage.
What's funny is
there's a crease now. It's worthless.
What's funny is that's kind of what's awesome about the medium is the ability to do weird shit like that. Because if you think about it, like if you're reading a comic on a tablet, you are fixed to the format of the tablet.
Right.
Like people are always like, oh, with a comic on a tablet, you can do anything, and it's like within that triangle. I mean, within that rectangle.
There's ways around that. You can totally do a gatefold.
You do know who you're talking to, Raven, right?
You can do a gatefold on an iPad.
Yeah.
So you just rip the screen in half, and there's like 2 screens.
No, you scroll. Like the human eye would go across.
Garbage.
Poor bastard.
You know what? See, a double page spread is cool because you perceive both pages at once.
But you don't really.
You might not. I do.
You have to look at it from across the room.
Yeah, I set it up on a stand and I walk back 10 feet.
It's a whole to do.
I look it up and down.
I'm saying when you're in a comic and it's single pages, and then you flip and it's a double page splash. Boom! Your viewing area doubled.
Yeah, your eyes can move across.
You'll never have an iPad just suddenly be twice as big.
However,
never.
You can't have motion in your paper.
Motion comics suck.
Don't
Motion comics aren't comics.
It's the point of drawing. They're animatics.
Yeah, they're not the future.
No.
Companies have failed trying to hitch their wagon to that shit.
I believe the children are the future.
I don't even believe in them.
No.
To hell with the children. Tootsie Rolls. Delicious chocolate, fruity.
For energy.
All right, we are really in the weeds now.
That's okay.
I think it's time to wrap this up and take us home.
I agree with Savage Dragon 242, The Ant and the God. By the way, the original solicitation was Ant! But the copy in the issue says The Ant and the God, which I like. I like that better. At any rate.
I feel like there's a better solicitation, no?
What? The Ant and the God?
Is that all it is? Or you...
Oh, no, there's more, yeah.
That's not the solicitation, that's the title.
Gotcha.
The Ant and the God. Hannah Washington returns. Ant chases a master criminal to Toronto, where she recruits Malcolm Dragon to help her battle their common foe. But this new menace has a secret that could shatter both their lives.
What?
And this issue comes with our highest possible recommendation. So the new menace on the cover, it is Thor getting a butt to the face.
Not Thor.
That's not Thor.
That is just some other winged godlike, not Thor.
I didn't finish my sentence.
Oh,
Oof.
On
you
the
shouldn't
cover,
have taken a breath then.
on the cover, it is Thor-esque type looking guy. That's what I was gonna say.
But instead you said, that's a Thor. esque.
For some reason, he reminds me of a really buff Asterix.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Or
So
DC's Warlord.
Yes, I could see that too.
Now comes a part where we baselessly speculate. We obviously have no idea what the hell the secret could be. But what secret could possibly Malcolm and Hannah Washington share that could...
They're siblings.
Oh, no. Something with Spawn? Something with gods?
I don't expect Spawn to ever be mentioned in this book again.
No, I don't. You're right.
What secret could it be? Oh, maybe what's-his-face is still alive.
Who?
The
Spawn?
ancient one.
The ancient one.
Maybe.
Yeah, it could shatter both their lives. Yeah, pretty easy.
Shatter it.
Why like that? Shatter it. Well, yeah, there you go. I got a question. Do you bros think that 2019 will be the long-awaited debut of Ant?
No.
No.
I don't either, and I'll tell you why.
Tell
A little
us.
issue called 250.
It's going to be a lot of work getting
Yeah.
that prepped, I'm sure. I don't expect 250 to be a massive tome.
You don't?
No. I think it'll have a few backups, but I don't think it's going to be a 100-page monster.
It's 250. He does 100-page monsters for like every 25 issues.
Unless he's
Yeah.
got some big reprint to toss in. I just don't
No.
think it'll... I think it'll be a double...
Captain Tootsie.
double size. Yeah, every Captain Tootsie strip. Perfect.
Yeah, that's
It's 250 though. I feel like that's major.
I don't
yeah,
know,
that's
man.
huge, dude.
Eric,
That's-
I've gotten the impression that Eric only does those on the quote unquote important issues just because that's what's done. I think he's
But 250 is pretty important, wouldn't you say?
not as important as 300.
I mean, can't we do both?
Honestly, it's so much work to get all that extra shit in there. It really depends on how Eric's up feeling.
I feel like
If
he
he's feeling like a
enjoys doing
spry
it.
young
I think he
man,
does,
maybe he'll be
too.
blow it out. But
I think he does enjoy it, and I think the fans enjoy it.
well, sure, I always love a fat issue, but I like random fat issues like 115 and the Fly issue, or doesn't have to land on a 25 or a 50.
I just feel like that is gonna happen. I have no insider baseball, but I'm just saying, like, if I was a guy that was at my 250th issue, I'd want some variants. I'd want
That'd be a good
it to
time to
be
get a blank cover with the original.
another
Savage
blank.
Dragon.
We haven't had one in. It will have been 50 issues.
Right, but we've not had a blank sketch cover with the original Savage Dragon logo. Previously, it was the
Oh yeah, good point.
the college logo.
The college logo.
Yeah.
The hated college logo.
Was it hated?
I don't think anybody had a strong opinion one way or the other.
I loved it, but I remember people bitching left and right.
Interesting.
Yep, haters everywhere.
I mean,
A
I
sea-
didn't love it because
sea
I
of
didn't
them.
think it was like flashy enough, but I didn't
Hater.
hate it.
You just got found, hater. You just outed yourself as a hater.
Okay.
It's okay. I mean, it's fine if you hate. I choose to love. That's fine.
I hate hate.
That is a form of love, so I'll allow it. But yeah, man, I think 250 will derail Ant. And here's what's ironic and weird. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't 225's oversizedness, didn't that kind of get the blame for derailing Ant the other time?
I don't know.
I don't remember
I
that.
don't remember him saying that.
I don't remember it either, but I kind of feel like somebody can bring it up, I'm
How
sure.
oversized was 125?
I think you're trying to cause some drama here.
It was just 100 pages.
But what was it mostly made up of?
Which one? 225?
225.
It had a lot of backups, dude. Had a lot
I'm
of
trying to
backups.
remember. It's been so long.
There was a Savage Dragon reprint of a
right.
whole issue.
It was a reprint of the
Paul Dragon.
of the Paul Dragon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Paul Dragon was the big,
See, that's
the
the thing.
huge thing.
Usually these fat
And
issues,
Frank Fosco's thing.
Yep, Frank had a full size. I had 7 pages.
That's right.
That wasn't
dude
nothing.
named Raven
But
Perez.
what I'm saying is they're
Lighting the
usually
world on
they're
fire.
usually big and fat like that when he's got a big reprint to take up a chunk of it, on top of backups and whatnot.
We've not seen the solicitation for 250 yet.
So he got 10 pages from Fosco.
Mm-hmm.
He got the graphic fantasy reprint. He got those little Flash Mercury pages.
Right?
Yep.
And that was about it. And then what? So I guess was it 200 where had the Freak Force?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm actually looking at these right now. Trying to remember, like, what good. Actually, we could just look at the fucking wiki.
200 had Glum and Angel by Chris Burnham.
Right.
Malcolm Plays Football by Travis Sengos.
Oh, yeah. Legendary. Love that.
SOS was Nikos.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That was a good one, too.
Well, see, in my opinion, 200 is a more important issue than 225 or 250.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying they're both kind of cool.
But issue 50 of Savage Dragon was way cooler than issue 25.
Yeah. I don't think he did anything for 25.
It was double sized. He did. There was a bunch of backup stories.
Okay.
I'm saying, what month that would hit at the end of the year?
I'm just saying, I think one of these days, one of these quote unquote important issues is just going to be a regular issue.
It won't hurt my feelings.
And that will be what makes it special.
So you're going with that route. It's funny. You know what's funny is that you can actually make a normal sized issue. I mean, it happens all the time with Savage Dragon. Like, you can make a normal sized issue crazy important. Like, just something story wise just needs to happen that blows your fucking brains out.
Dude. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Say, you know what's crazy? That 150 was so long ago.
I know, man.
Because that was like Overlord on the cover.
Oh yeah, that was the Death of Dragon, right?
Yeah, it doesn't seem that long ago.
That's when Overlord blasted Virus to ash, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But it doesn't seem that long ago. What the heck?
Craig, you know what's crazier is that, like, I was talking about, like, 250's almost here, and Zach's like, 200's when I jumped on. And I feel like Zach's been reading the book for years.
150 was an important issue. I mean, that was like when Kerr was basically introduced. Because that's what kicked off the whole thing with Kerr, is that Virus ate Dragon's brain.
Mm-hmm.
Virus became Dragon. Overlord Flash Mercury destroyed Virus Dragon, and then Malcolm and Angel injected Dragon's blood back into Dragon's brainless body, and that became Kerr.
Right.
The Virus time is such a weird time for me for Savage Dragon.
It is.
I have a hard time with the Virus time. I like a lot of the stories that came out, like the Kerr story and stuff.
Oh, I love it.
But I have a hard time with Virus.
He was so weird. That's what I love, is he was just so fucking weird at that time. Like, where it was like all those people he absorbed were like their word balloons, like, hey, what's up? Let's go eat pizza or something like that.
Yeah.
Just random weird thoughts. He was creepy. He was just such a weird, creepy, like, yeah, it was good. I like it. I think that was like really.
Well, what's really weird
is
he was the guy who killed Dragon, because everyone after was basically a copy.
Yeah, that's
it
what
lasted like. I want to say it only lasted like 2 years or a year and a half, but it seems like it lasted way longer.
Well, what was funny is, like, to me, that was no different than, like, oh, I'm William Johnson, or, oh, I'm, like, all these different things. Like, Dragon went through those weird periods.
Yeah,
so for
that
me,
was magic. That's different.
I'm just saying it. The Venom Dragon just felt like another another weird phase in his weird life.
Yeah. Well, Craig, you say it was just a few years. I mean, those years were... That was Dragon War. That was Emperor Dragon.
Yeah, there's a lot of good issues, but I'm still like...
And that led directly into the Malcolm era, which really kicked off after Kerr.
Mm-hmm.
It was just... I was so thrown off because it was like, all right, it was this big like PR kickoff where Dragon was back to being a cop
ever.
And then it's like, what?
He's back in blue. Blow up the police station.
Is he?
Kill
or is
Dragon
he not
the next
alive?
issue.
Yeah, back in blue, not like super fake out. Yeah, it's good, man. I love those years. Like those were some fucking wacky years. All that Kerr stuff was great, dude. He killed the fucking planet. So good. He ate fucking Malcolm's brain. So good. And you think about it, like that stuff was responsible for Old Man Dragon being shelved pretty much the rest of his life.
Yep.
He went to prison because of that stuff.
He went to space. Then
it brought the Krylons back.
Yeah. I'm telling you, so much crazy shit came out of that.
Well, let's hope that 250 does for Malcolm what it did for Dragon.
I'm excited. I'm telling you, dudes, I'm hyped. I think 2019, always Savage Dragon's good. Otherwise, we wouldn't still be reading it. But I think 2019, there's some wacky shit ahead.
Dude, you think 250 is only like 9 months away?
I know. I'm so excited. Can't wait. It's good. That means like what? September if the book ships like nonstop. Like it's before, like we won't even. It's funny to think of it that way, as like we'll hit that landmark issue in September, and we'll still technically have like what, like 3 more months to go, like 3 more issues past that. Exciting. And again, Jim, like you said, it doesn't have to be big. Like, even if it's small, it's fine. But it'd be cool if it was.
It's not the size of the issue. It's the motion and the... What?
Issue. Yeah. No, I'm with you. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps up this latest episode of the Savage FINcast. Thank you for listening, everyone. We, of course, can contact us at savagefincast@gmail.com. Any comments or suggestions or
FINteresting
conversation
topics, just throw them our way. We'll consider them. We're always
iTunes reviews would be very helpful and nice of you.
We're looking to grow the show this year. We've got some concerns about our dipping listenership, so we want to we're not in danger of going anywhere. We're going to keep at this, even if only like our moms listen. But we're looking to find ways to promote the show this year. Is all.
Of course, it's all to help Savage Dragon anyway. So get it out there. Like if you're enthusiastic about Savage Dragon, I mean, we've been lucky enough. I've had a few people tell us that we've gotten them back in the saddle. That they fell off the book and they got back on because they started listening with us. And so, yeah, if you have anybody like a lapsed Savage Dragon fan or somebody that you just think would benefit from just hearing some people be enthusiastic about this title, because Savage Dragon is a book with a lot of misconceptions around it.
Like it's a porn book.
Yeah, that's the one. And
You're still publishing that?
Yeah, that's the other one.
Why does Dragon not look like he used to look?
That is the dude. I got that like very recently.
He looks like a black guy.
Wow, Dragon really, his look sure has changed. I was like, well, it's because that's his fucking son, bro. Oh, I said that. Yeah, that guy died a long time ago. His son's kind of been the lead for a while. Cool. Yeah, but if you got anybody that you think would like just benefit from plugging into that excitement, because enthusiasm's contagious, and this is a kick-ass book, and man, we just want people to read it.
That's all we want.
Hear, hear.
Read it.
Read it. Read Savage Dragon.
Don't stop.
Yeah, man. So thank you for listening. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Raven.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. 2019, feeling good already. Please don't let that be the end.
The end.
Please don't.
It's over.
Oh no. Oh no, dude.